appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring, and I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah. Life's a ride, so let's make it count. Cherish every moment, that's what it's about. Tune in, together we're building our groove. Every beat, every laugh, we're ready to move. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave the troubles behind. This podcast is gold, the treasure you'll find. With every word, we'll light up your day. Join the conversation, let's laugh all the way. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave your troubles behind. This podcast is gold, a treasure you'll find. Life's a ride, so let's make it count. Cherish every moment, that's what it's about. Tune in.
What's going on, y'all? Hey, hey. Good morning. Welcome to the True Crime Cafe. Welcome back. Good to see you guys today. Hope you're having a great day. Even though it's crappy outside, we're going to make it great inside. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate you all so very much. Hope everybody had a great night last night. Welcome back today. Great to see y'all. Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, come on in, grab a seat, grab a cup of Joe, coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Please come on in, sit down. Have a conversation with me. Mama Bear said she may be joining us here shortly. We shall see what goes down with that. That would be awesome. as always. All right, all right. All right, all right. Let's see here. Let me see. Show. Let's see who we got joining us in here so far today. The Karma Police is in the house. Hey, hey. Behave, y'all. You don't want to be going out in cuffs. The sassy one, Miss Cassie, is in the house as well. Miss Christina, welcome back to you. Alicia J. Hey, hey. Good to see you today. Stormy Jane, welcome. Good to see you. Miss Seahawks fan, Tandy's in the house. Good morning to you. Let me see here. Show. Whoa. Heather's a bad beach. All right, and welcome. Good to see you, Heather. Manam. Do. Manam. Thank you. Thank you, Stormy. I appreciate it very much. Well, hello, my sister. How are you? That's my baby sister. Heather's a bad beach. Yes, she is. Don't mess with her. How you doing, baby sis? Hope you're having a great day. You must not be working. Enjoying your day off, I hope. Everybody better be nice to my little sister here. Unknown caller. Hello and good morning. Just working. You're still working. Well, shoot. I am good, sis. I hope you're doing good. It's good to see you. I missed you. Let's see here. Show. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah. Michelle Apple, hello. Welcome back to you. I miss you more. Welcome, Michelle. Good to see you. Let me see. Show. Mama D's in the house. Good to see you, Mama D. Thank you for joining us. Well, that was very sweet of you, Michelle. Thank you very much for that. Actually, Dago has a great sister, Michelle. That's a fact. She's awesome. She is awesome. Couldn't ask for nothing more. Have a great family in general. Very lucky. Let me see. Come on in, guys. 29 peeps in the house, 12 likes. We can do a little bit better than that. Please, let's make that match if we can. And y'all, just pretend like you like me. Even if you don't, hit that button just for a little while, please. And thank you. Dagburn. Johnny Gobbles, Dead Floozy Mama's in the house. Good morning and good to see ya. Welcome back. My sister is pretty awesome. Let's tell the truth now. You're the awesome one, kiddo. You know you are. This girl right here is probably one of the hardest workers you ever meet in your life. Telling you guys, I ain't never seen nobody that has such a work ethic in my life. And she's been that way her whole life. She's amazing. She made 2 beautiful children, my niece and nephew. She's just awesome. And she's gorgeous, just like our mother. So facts are facts, folks. It is what it is. Lisa J. Hey. Y'all are making me turn into a poet today. I like to rhyme everything. I don't know where that even comes from. Well, thank you again, Michelle. I appreciate it. You guys remember the 80s? I'm going to tell you how awesome my sister is. This was just a young little girl in the 80s, and this kid could beatbox better than most rappers could. It was hilarious. I don't even know how she did it. Sorry, you guys. All right. Let's see. 34 peeps in the house. 16 likes. Come on now. Y'all can do that. You can do it. Hit that button. Let's get this up into an algorithm. What'd you say, Tandy? You're what? Getting a lily with your mom's name in it. You getting a tattoo? Chaz D's in the house. Good morning. Good to see you today. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining us. Summer Thunder. Summer Thunder. Great to see you all today. 36 peeps in the house. Great to have you here. 20 likes. It's getting there. It's getting there little by little by little by little by little by little. Come on in, everybody. Oh, let me check something. Some people don't get notice. Let me make sure. 1 minute here. Nope. Here we go. Okay, hold on here. Okay. All right. Scott, Metalhead, welcome back, brother. Good to see you today. T2014's in the house. Great to see you here. Who are we missing? We're missing Miss Molly, SRBBBBBBB. My area has crappy tattoo shops. I hate driving downtown. Oh, I wouldn't want to drive in downtown Dallas anytime, anywhere, any way, shape, or form. That's too busy for me. No way. No way. No way. Nope. Nope. Let's see here. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. Get yourselves made at home. That's awesome, Michelle. I'm glad to hear. It's rainy and cold here in Ohio too. Yeah, I'm so over this shitty ass weather, guys. It's 55 degrees, dreary, cold, overcast, like always. I wouldn't. I'm scared. I'm not saying you were. I am. I don't like driving in like crazy 16 lane highways. It's always fast paced. I can't stand that stuff. It just drives me nuts. 90. You can keep that too. I'm not all fan of that hot stuff. I like it right in the middle there. 75, 80. No humidity. I'm good. Come on down, y'all. Again, guys, we're jumping back into the world news today. See what's going on out there. Of course, we're going to be looking in on Jack and Lily Sullivan to see what new happens there. I just said that way wrong. What new could be happening there? Sorry. And anything else going on in the world? Maybe a little Idaho 4 stuff. Maybe not. Maybe so. Who knows? And of course, we're going to be looking at some Good Samaritans and laughing a little bit here if we can. Some crazy stuff in the news. We will see. The best part is that y'all are doing it with me. There I go, rhyming again. To the beach, y'all. Let's see. We got 28 peeps now, 22 likes. It's catching up. Oh, yes. Yes, I would love to see that too, Christina. That's awesome. I'm a big horror fan, and I love that kind of stuff. Horror. Make sure I said it right. Not yeah, horror. Okay, let's see. Oh, I definitely have heard of it, Christina. Yes, definitely. Excuse me. Thank you, Michelle. Of course. Prayers for Jack and Lola for sure. What are we talking about? T2014 says being in public Thursday. What? Hey, we got some stuff to talk about. May 1st. That's the day before they went missing, supposedly. Okay. That's awesome, Christina. Very awesome. We're going to be looking at that for sure. 2014. Miss Alicia. The heck is he listening to? I just heard a song I haven't heard since I was in high school. MC Breed. To the beach, y'all. Miss Liberty. I see you, pretty girl. Hello. Hope you're being good for mommy today. Such a sweet little thing. She's beautiful. All these kids, all of our kids in this community are amazing kids. Miss Alicia's kids. Tomboy and Tandy's kids. Mama Bear's kids. Also, Cassie's kids. She just giggled and said hi. Hi, Liberty, Liberty. Hope you're being a good girl. She's adorable. And I made friends with Miss Alicia's little one. I'm her friend now, she told me. Last time I saw her, she's cute. Adorable. They're all beautiful children. We love them throughout this community for sure. And of course, Miss Brandy, her son Matthew, he's another one of our beautiful kids. And all the rest of you. Nope. I didn't forget about Matthew. I just said that before you even typed that. I told you. I was trying to think of everybody. Jesus, Brandy. You didn't give me a chance to say it. You don't listen to me. And Brady's in the house, by the way. Brady be the OG. Welcome, Miss Brandy. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Oh, you better be nice to him. Let him be. Or you're going to get fired, you Lumook. For those of you that don't know, that's a word Matthew made up. And that's what he calls his mom when she's not doing what he wants her to do. And then he fires her all the time, at least a couple times a week. Well, I was going to say, at least we now know that they were seen the day before they went missing, quote unquote. So that eliminates those few days beforehand. So that's good. Canadian Cat Lady, wonderful to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us. Great to see you today, guys. I will be doing 2 shows today at least. We'll be back here this afternoon upon multiple requests. So I will be seeing you later this afternoon, of course, for those of you that want to. Just to give you a heads up right now. We got 31 peeps, 25 likes. Let's see what we got going on out here today. Thank you all again for joining me. I do appreciate you. Let's see. Come on in, everybody. Please and thank ya. And please hit the like button if you will. Please, if you will. Let me see where we're going to start at. I got a few things to go over with the one situation. Jack and Lily. Like I told you yesterday, there were some remains found in that area, but I do not believe they belong to them. That's my opinion. I haven't heard anything new on that situation yet, but let me see. Let me see. Let's see. Hold on here. All right. I hope you can too, Canadian Cat Lady. We miss seeing you in here all the time. It's great when we do get to see you, and I hope you're being safe out there. For sure. Let's see. All right, come on now. Come on. Tomboy's in the house flying in on her bird. Thank you for being here, Tomboy. Hope you're having a great start to your day. You and Miss Tandy. All right, let's see. Three hours away, pretty close to you. Thank you for that, T2014. I didn't know a whole lot about it. I'm glad that we have people that live in that area. It kind of helps us to get some information that we just won't get here in the States. You know what I mean? All right, give me a minute here to pull this up. Let's see what updates that RCMP has given us. Give me 1 minute here. Hold on. Just a minute here. Let me see. Is it going to give it to me or what? Today's 28 now. Nothing. Okay. That was as of May 17th, 16th. They need to update their page. Molly. Good golly almighty. Good to see you, Molly dear. Good morning. There's our Molly. Little Miss Talented. She's our videographer here and does all the music and the intro, outro, video stuff like that we do. She's also our mapper. Mapper, no mapping. She does all the maps and stuff. Molly's amazing, very talented, and she has an awesome channel you guys need to go check out too. The Molly Drake channel. Please, if you will, drop that link, guys, so that everybody can go subscribe to Miss Molly if they have not yet done it. And if you haven't, what are you doing with your life? Come on now, y'all. Come on now, y'all. Please go subscribe to Miss Molly, if you will. That is so very much appreciated. Okay, guys. So the RCMP website has not been updated. There's nothing there, but I'm going to jump up on here and throw this out at you. Thank you again, T. I appreciate your info and your input on this. Has been very helpful. It always is. Anybody that's in that area that gets information that we don't get here, very helpful. And it helps us to stay up on what's going on with, when it's hard for us to get that info. So thank you again for that, T. All right, let's see what we got here. Come on now. There's Molly's link. Thank you, Sass. Guys, go check out Miss Molly, please, and thank you. You will not be disappointed. She's very talented. There's a little bit different than true crime stuff over there, but she will, I'm telling you, you'll be definitely interested in seeing what you see. So go check it out.
You're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Wednesday morning, the 28th of May. And we're going back to Nova Scotia today. The disappearance.
By the way, I didn't tell you. We're going to jump up and check out what Michelle put together 5 hours ago on this. Brand new, guys. And again, thank you, Michelle After Dark. I'm going to throw her link in the chat for those of you who don't have it. Go check her out. In Stitches in the house. Good to see you today, Stitches. Thank you for joining us. All right. Here we go.
Of siblings, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan from Lansdowne Station in Pictou County. I had a day off the case yesterday and concentrated instead on an Irish case. Very, very peculiar, bizarre and gruesome case. That of the murder of 56-year-old farmer Michael Gain. So go and check that out if you haven't seen that video. But what we're going to do here is talk about the latest in the search for Lily and Jack Sullivan, or rather the lack thereof. RCMP have spoken, and it's bad. Let's go. Okay, before I get into the latest in Lily and Jack's case, I just briefly want to mention the human remains that have been found in Nova Scotia. Now, there's a bunch of people missing in Nova Scotia, not just Lily and Jack Sullivan, but I've had some people direct me to this news, and I've seen other people discussing it. So it's not Lily and Jack. I'm confident of that. The ID of the remains has not been made yet. But given its location, in my opinion, there's a strong likelihood that it's this man on your screen right here, Justin McDonald. At least I hope it's him for his family's sake. I did a video about Justin's case over on my other channel, Michelle Walks, a little while ago now. But where these remains were found is very close, about 20 minutes drive from where Justin's vehicle was found. So the remains have been found down here somewhere on Morley Road, and Justin's vehicle was recovered from this area here. And his family have been out of their minds. They just want closure. His dad, Ken, has been out there every day, driving around, looking for any sign of Justin. And investigators have searched quite a wide area, but nothing until the remains were found a couple of days ago. So just a little bit about Justin's case. July 7th, 2024, around 11 p.m. local time, Justin was last seen at a gas station in North Sydney. Appears on the store's security camera, but then his vehicle is found 25 kilometres away in the Ormond Crescent area of Myra Road. Now, there have been people charged in this case. In December 2024, police charged Mitchell George McPhee, 38, with manslaughter and with the robbery and assault of another man. Shortly after that, there was Ryan Joseph Pike, 36, was charged with second-degree murder and robbery. And then, just to top the year off, on December 31st, Aaron Curtis Mickey, 45, was charged with second-degree murder, robbery, and 4 firearms-related offences. Those cases are still going through the courts. This is Justin's family, and I just want to play this short clip.
It was on this rural Cape Breton road that human remains were found by a person walking in the area at around 5 p.m. on Monday. As police continue their investigation, Ken McDonald is staying close by. His 34-year-old son, Justin McDonald, has been missing for almost a year, and he's been searching every day since.
With this find, we're just hoping. We can't say anything definitive because of the forensic situation, but we're hopeful that it may be him.
Police declared McDonald's disappearance a homicide in November. 2 men have been charged with second-degree murder, robbery, and assault in the case. 1 other man was charged with manslaughter and robbery.
I don't know if you can say it's kind of like a horror story, and it just hasn't stopped. It's kind of been so repetitive over the last 323 days it is now. Knowing that, Justin's been missing, he's been somewhere. Knowing that he's no longer with us and still having to search has been probably one of the hardest situations a family ever would have to endure.
Part of the Morley Road here was closed for public access today. Police say they will remain on scene for a few days yet as their investigation continues. They did decline an interview request today, only saying they'll provide more information once it becomes available. A forensic identification unit was still at the scene on Tuesday and is working with the medical examiner's office to identify the remains. McDonald's family is hoping for closure.
It's absolutely a necessity for the family to be able to bring Justin home and take him to where he belongs and put him to rest.
His parents are hoping the search is finally over and say they'll comment when they know more.
So if you want to know the full story, then go and check out my video on Justin's case on my other channel, Michelle Walks. And if you don't know that I've got a second channel, well, I do. It's called Michelle Walks. So if you like this channel and you want more of the same, then go over and subscribe there, Michelle Walks. I'll leave a link to it in the cards, which will appear on the top right hand of your screen. That's if YouTube chooses to put it on, because they don't always. But the link to it is in the description box of every single video and every single live stream. Okay, let's move over to Lily and Jack's case. Now, the RCMP have spoken and they've said that no new searches are planned for Lily and Jack. No new searches are planned. Now, you know, if you've been following the case, Lily and Jack were reported missing around 10 a.m. on Friday, May 2nd. There was an intensive search for 6 days. That's including May 2nd. So I guess you would say 5.5 days by the time searchers got on the ground. But on May 7th, at a press conference, the cops said because of the much reduced chance of Lily and Jack being recovered alive, they were scaling back in favour of more investigation. Okay. They did do another couple of days, the 17th and 18th of May. Got my dates right there, but it was not last weekend, the weekend before. And they found nothing, no sign, nothing. There was a potential footprint found on the natural gas pipe, which is a little bit of a distance away from their home. But there's no evidence that that was Lily and Jack. Dogs didn't alert to it. What concerns me is the lack of scent. There's bound to be scent on the property because they live there. But it concerns me that dogs didn't get a scent at all in the woods. That concerns me, as far as we know at least. It also concerns me that there's a number of inconsistencies in the timeline that the parents have given. It concerns me about the inconsistencies of Daniel, the stepdad. It concerns me that the mother, Malia, left the day after they went missing. Now, her family were told to leave because they were blaming Daniel. The children's biological father's side are also blaming both Malia and Daniel. And I've got to say, I don't want to cast aspersions. I don't want to lay blame where it may not be warranted, but I do have concerns about this case. And I have since the beginning, since the very beginning. I don't like it when a timeline is in jeopardy. I don't like it when somebody says, I did this here, and you find out they didn't do this here. That bothers me a lot. That's all I'm going to say at this current time, but did they wander away? I really don't know. It's possible. Of course it's possible. Of course it is. Kids do the darndest things. The lack of scent, that bothers me. It really bothers me. And I've got loads of videos on this channel about dog searches across various cases, but I did one a few days ago on this case. So there are reasons why there may not be a scent, but no, don't like it. Do not like it. Now, abduction. A lot of people think that abduction's possible, and it is. Of course it is. I don't believe that anybody would come into their backyard and abduct them from their backyard if they went out to play in the backyard. There's nobody that would walk past the trailer with the RV right there where Daniel's mother and brother live, even if they're not in. I was an abductor to know that. I would an abductor to know that Daniel and Malay were asleep. There's just too many risks, and apparently Daniel's mother has a dog. I haven't seen the dog. I don't know what breed the dog is. I don't know where the dog lives. He or she lives in the RV, or whether he or she lives outside. I don't know. But nah, I don't think they were abducted from the odd. Now, if Lily and Jack tried to go to school, that's indeed if they went missing on the Friday morning. That's another story. But if they tried to go to school, if Lily was coming in the room because she wanted to get ready for school, what if they set off for school and went down the driveway, waited for the bus? They didn't really know the time the bus came. They missed the bus. They waited a while and then they started to walk, thinking that they could walk to school. Well, anything could have happened at that point. They could have been picked up on Gaylord Road. I think it's a good possibility that they may have tried to go to school. So they're not in the woods at all. But I just can't shake the possibility that some kind of foul play has happened here. I think there's something more to this case that we don't know about. Anyway, the RCMP said, this is RCMP spokesperson Corporal Corley McCann said on Tuesday, the work to find Lily and Jack remains very active with a full complement of resources, tools, and many investigators engaged to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. There are no planned air and ground searches at this time. Any further searches will be determined based on the investigation. She wouldn't comment on whether the force has used polygraphs as part of their interviews in the investigation. Any of the investigative techniques that are being applied and used aren't going to be part of any information that we release to the public at this time, she said.
Welcome, Christy, Nevada. So good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. We've missed you. There she is. Welcome back to the sauce, Miss Christy. Congrats, and it's great to have you back. Great to see you. Miss Paula's in the house as always. Welcome, Miss Paula. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Cassie, for that, by the way. Great to have you all here with us. 36 peeps in the house. Please make sure to hit that like button and share this out. Let everybody know what we're doing. Welcome, everybody.
So they're still remaining tight-lipped. It is a little bit heartbreaking that they're not going to plan any more search.
Oh, again, happy Dagoversary, Miss Christy. We love you here. And thank you so much for being part of this family and this community for 9 whole months. That's amazing. God bless. And I hope you stick around for 9 more plus. Great to have.
Searches, certainly not in the near future. I did get the feeling that the searches on the 17th and 18th of May were a final last-ditched effort, but in favour of other investigative techniques. What, collecting surveillance cameras? Yeah, great. A property owned by Melissa Scott, a neighbour from 3 miles away. May 20th, they finally went to get her trail cams, of which she's got a 40-acre property, 7 trail cams on the property. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. I mean, look, they've probably collected the surveillance cameras and any trail cam footage from neighbours closer already. But the thing that gets me is if...
Excuse me? When was your birthday, Stitches? When did that happen? Or did you do that on purpose? Because, you know, I would not allow that to happen if I knew about it.
They've not done a full sweep and a full analysis of the surveillance cameras in the area. How could they say right from the jump that there was no signs of an abduction? How would they know that if they'd not even investigated the possibility? How would they know that the family were telling the truth about their whereabouts?
Memorial Day, I had no idea, Stitches. Well, we will remedy that. That's for damn sure. Thank you for telling me. Virginia Wolf, welcome, brother. Welcome, Taylor. Good to see you today. Thank you for joining us.
If they'd not looked at things like surveillance cameras, as many as is available. I mean, look, it's a very rural area. How can you say that there's no abduction? Now, look, a retired police detective has commented to Global News and said, this is a big statement. So let's listen to this news piece here.
They gave you a clue when they said no abduction. That's a big statement to make at this early in the game.
It's been 24 days since Lily and Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their home in Lansdowne Station. Family members have speculated the children were taken, but police have remained adamant they do not believe the siblings were abducted. According to Nova Scotia's recently updated policing standards, abduction is defined as when a person under 18 years of age or a vulnerable person is taken without the permission of their legal guardian. Jim Hoskins is a retired HRP officer and former major crimes staff sergeant. Despite not working the Sullivan case himself or being privy to any information regarding RCMP's ongoing investigation, he can see only two remaining possibilities.
What I see from the outside, there's only two options here. Criminal involvement, search, they haven't found them yet. They legitimately got lost in the woods. I felt, okay, let's give them a couple of days to see if these kids are just wandered off, because they're only 6 and 4. So are they lost? They'll find them, maybe. If not, let's see how far it goes. And I says, and if it goes beyond 2 or 3 days, uh-oh. That was my reaction. What's next? Uh-oh.
A feeling felt across the province that could be driving public obsession with this case.
Canada in 2024, there were just over 30,000 cases of missing children. The vast majority of those cases involve runaways, or they involve teens. And actually about 90% of those cases are resolved within a 1-week period. So
those are useful statistics, and that's true across the board. The vast majority of cases of missing children are solved very quickly. Most are actually solved within a few hours, but 90% within a week. And most cases are solved quickly because they're runaways. They're teenagers who voluntarily left their home. Like in the case of Sebastian Rogers from Tennessee, 15 years old when he disappeared. I believe he left his home voluntarily. Very different, though, when it's small children. Yes, small children do wander away. Yes, they do wander further than you think sometimes. They absolutely do. So could Lily and Jack have walked out of the search area? Yes. They may be out there somewhere lying deceased and just been missed. Or they've managed to get past the search area if they've taken a certain route that didn't involve them going through the really dense areas in the woods. Absolutely possible. Like I said, though, I've had concerns from the beginning, and it seems that this retired detective is thinking along the lines that I've been since the beginning as well.
time cases deviate from that, right? I think that is going to draw in the public. And of course, there's the public's desire to see it resolved.
Although Stevens cannot comment on individual cases, she says when children in particular go missing, this tends to be harder for the public to digest.
It taps into a lot of the fears that, for example, parents might hold about the safety of their children. But it's really important to remember that of those, for example, 30,000 cases, about 0.1% were cases of like a stranger or parental abduction.
Despite rumors online of criminal motives and cover-ups, Lily and Jack's stepfather, Daniel Martel, has refuted all claims of his involvement, offering to take a polygraph test. And Hoskins says there's still a chance the children are close by.
You can't write it off and say they're definitely not in the woods. I can still say you can get overlooked. You can overlook bodies.
Searchers were back in the woods near the home a week ago, but there have been no significant updates since. In all his years as a police officer, Hoskins says what strikes him most is the probability of something like this happening.
It's bizarre. If you ask me what was bizarre, I'd say, in this case, 2 with this particular family. 2 are gone.
Ella MacDonald, Global News.
Yeah, the fact that siblings are gone. There have been abductions in the past where 2 people have been abducted at the same time. The Beaumont children from Australia, the Adelaide Oval abductions of a 4-year-old and an 11-year-old friends. Abby and Libby, 13 and 14 from Indiana, abducted together, murdered together. Cousins, Lyric and Elizabeth from 2012. I bet there's more. It does happen that
the West brothers out of California, that happened not too long ago, a few years back. There are a few of them, but it's a rarity that you see it happening, that somebody abducts. And the West twins, they weren't abducted. It was their foster family that did what they did, but it still happened. Okay. So it's just, yeah, it does happen, but it's not a regular type scenario. So
2 kids are abducted at the same time. Stranger abductions are thankfully rare. So it happens, of course it does. As it happened in this case, though, again, the fact that RCMP said that there's no sign of an abduction from the jump, I'd be happy to go with that. I'd be happy to believe them if I knew that they'd collected the surveillance cameras from at least the immediate vicinity. Every camera that they could get, particularly from the road. If it's an abduction, they're going to have been gone in a vehicle, haven't they? But I don't know, you guys. Either it is a wandering away scenario or it's foul play, in my opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
All right. Thanks again, Michelle. Great job as always. I do have another one I want to review. Another great creator, amazing creator. Give me one moment here. Sorry, everybody.
There's been an update in the case of...
All right. I just want to review this real quick. For those of you that are not familiar with Gisela from Grizzly True Crime, if you have not subscribed to her channel yet, you need to. Gisela is amazing. I look up to her, I should say, as a creator. She does amazing things. She has an amazing channel. She has an amazing heart. And she just does great, great work, guys. So please, please, if you have not yet done it, please go over and check out Gisela's channel. I dropped the link in the chat. Grizzly True Crime. I spelled it wrong there. But again, what we're about to see is coming from Gisela. She did an update on this, and I thought this was quite interesting. Thank you to Tomboy for sharing it with us. Let's check it out. Let's see what Gisela has to say. And again, guys, please, if you will, jump on over, hit subscribe if you have not yet. Notification bell for Gisela and the Grizzly True Crime channel. You won't be disappointed, folks. I promise you. Anything she touches, she does amazing with it. So please go check her out. Thank you so much. Kent Corbett, welcome back. Good to see you, my friend. Yes, we have heard, Kent. We're gonna be looking into that here. And welcome, brother. Good to have you here. I appreciate you so very much.
Missing Lily and Jack Sullivan in Nova Scotia, and it comes from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Nova Scotia. They say, as the missing persons investigation into the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan continues, the RCMP is appealing to the public for additional video footage. Investigators have collected hours of video from the area surrounding Lansdowne Station. Based on the details we've gathered so far, we've confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st. So that would be Thursday, if you remember the timeline, because they were reported missing on Friday morning, May 2nd, said Corporal Sandy Matara, Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit. We're now asking anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Gairloch Road between 12 p.m. on April 28th and 12 p.m. on May 2nd to contact us. Investigators remain committed to exploring all possibilities surrounding the children's disappearance. To date, more than 355 tips have been received and are being followed up on. RCMP officers have also formally interviewed over 50 people, with more interviews planned in the coming days. Investigative work is ongoing following a large-scale ground and air search that began immediately after the children were reported missing on May 2nd. Hundreds of searchers, multiple dogs, a variety of drones, an underwater recovery team, and several aircraft scoured a heavily wooded 5.5 square kilometer area before search efforts were scaled back on.
So now we know, and it's a good thing, now we know that Tuesday and Wednesday's out the door. Okay, they were seen Thursday afternoon. So anytime between Thursday evening, they're that point where they were seen Thursday evening to Friday morning. This is our timeline now. That makes it a little bit easier. And hopefully, maybe the truth has been told in some aspect, okay? Maybe the truth has been told. Maybe the kids did get ready for school, thinking maybe they were going to school that day, grabbed their backpack, walked out to that driveway where the bus would pick them up, and somebody else grabbed them. That's not something I'm saying I didn't think that it would be something that would be, as far as statistical, something that I would think because of the rural area, but things happen, folks. Things happen, okay? You can't put it past that at this point. So at least we know they were seen Thursday. They were seen with family. There you go. Okay, so maybe the truth has been told to an extent. I don't know if it's the whole truth. Okay, but again, it makes it a little bit more understandable per se. And now we know them walking to the bus stop Friday morning is now making more. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, Tomboy. It very much could be. Maybe the bio dad family did have something to do with this. You know, maybe that's why they're speaking out, trying to deter the attention away from them. I don't know, but these are different speculations that could be situational. You know what I mean? Just saying. Kent says, Tomboy, unfortunately, I don't think so. The fact is that it's looking more like my theory or speculation about. That's what I've been thinking too. But now we know that it's down to Thursday night, possibly, or early Friday morning. And it very much could be, Kent. I can agree. 100%. 100%. It could be. It could be one of those 2 or 3 things that we've talked about that falls into that bracket, guys. So we just don't know.
On May 7th. Additionally, searches took place on May 8th, May 9th, May 17th, and 18th. Any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation. RCMP officers from various teams are fully engaged in finding out what happened to Lily and Jack, and we're using all tools and resources to determine the circumstances of their disappearance, says Corporal Mataro. We understand people's desire for answers and updates. However, as this is an active investigation, we're unable to discuss details of our ongoing work. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Lily and Jack or who has video footage to share with the police is asked to call the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit, and they say the numbers, well, it's there on the screen. Normally YouTube doesn't like it if you read out numbers, but okay, let's make myself smaller and try to make these numbers bigger for you. So there they are. You can also find this post on Facebook on the RCMP official Facebook page, right? So here's all the numbers that you can contact, as well as there's a Crime Stoppers tip line as well. Well, I hope they are found soon. Follow for more. There's been an update in the case of missing Lily and Jack.
Thank you again, Gisela. Much appreciated. Again, guys, go check her out. She does a great job. She really does. Like I said, you can learn a lot from her. She's an amazing creator, and she does great stuff, truly, in my opinion. Thanks for sending that over, Tomboy, very much. All right, guys. You see here. Hang on. Asking for dash cam, but it says, yeah, that has a good, a decent meaning behind it, in my opinion. Truly does. I agree with you guys on that one. Let's see here. Again, there's not a lot coming out, but we take what we can get off of this for sure, for sure. There's also a lot of bullshit that I've seen. A couple channels that are just putting out ridiculous stuff and have been from the beginning. One of the channels got me super angry last week on this, and I just nope. Just be careful what you guys are watching and taking into effect from these certain channels. Let me see here. Never fails. Okay. You would think that, you would think if they were expecting that maybe they rode the bus stop, they would be wanting 40 from 7, because the bus goes around 7:30 to 7:40. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Maybe. Gotcha. Yes. Yo, that's the next one we're doing, Tomboy. We already did the French onion one. We're doing that one next. You guys got to try the French onion one, too. It was amazing. Well, let me see. Nope, nothing. Nothing else. So on we go. On we go. Let's see here. Hope Floats. Welcome, Val. Good to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us, and welcome back to the sauce. Wonderful to have you here. Unknown caller. Gotcha. Thank you for being here. It's great to see you, Val. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys, I'm going to pull this down here. Pull this back up. Give me one moment. Let's see what else we got coming in. Yes, it's wonderful to have you back in the sauce, Hope. Thank you so much for joining us again. Very much appreciate it, and we have missed you as always. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I forgot to put something in here this morning. Mama Bear will be here soon. So you'll start seeing her a little bit more often, I think, Virginia. I promise. Clifton Mayo, welcome, brother. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys, let's get moving on here. Keep praying for these kids to be found. The only thing we can do. Truly, it's all we can do. All right, let me see here. Show. She was told that by Daniel. Is it 100 truth? No one knows what it is being told from the horse's mouth. Gotcha. Thank you, Kent. Very much appreciated. Good Lord. Okay. Let's see what else we got coming on here. One moment, everyone. Still doesn't make sense. No contact for years, and they say that he is the cause of it. So why are they talking to him now? That's a good question, Alicia. Very good question. Excuse me. All right, next up to date here. Let's see here. Great to see you. It's not like it's continuing on going. It's because she was down there during the searching, and this is what she's been. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I can see that. I could see that. All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, this story. I was going to bring this yesterday, but we had a couple too many. So let's check this out today. As soon as it loads. This made me sick to my stomach, but again, I'm going to share it just because these things need to be seen and heard so people know the tragedy and the ignorance that goes on out here. Truth.
Trigger warning. This video includes sensitive and violent content that may not be suitable for all viewers. This video is for 18 plus only. Trigger warning. This video.
Just in case. Here we go, folks.
Anything.
A father charged with murder in the death of his toddler daughter gets permission to go on a tropical vacation as he awaits trial. I look at the request and a plea offer as Christopher Schultz awaits trial for the murder of his young daughter. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. When Christopher Schultz was arrested last year and charged in the death of his daughter, Parker, the case was absolutely devastating and shocking. Prosecutors in Pima County, Arizona.
Welcome to Truth. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining us.
Said Schultz left Parker napping in her car seat in his car in the driveway while he took his other children in the house and then played video games. It was a hot summer day in July in Arizona. The initial complaint charging Schultz with second-degree murder showed Schultz's wife sent him a text message as Parker was being taken to the hospital.
I think you guys remember we covered this initially. Well, this is kind of a follow-up to this and what went on after the fact, and it's kind of crazy to me. Still makes me sick, but here we go.
It said, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" Schultz responded, "Babe, I'm sorry." His wife then texted, "We've lost her. She was perfect." Schultz then responded, "Babe, our family, how could I do this? I killed our baby. This can't be real." Schultz was a stay-at-home dad. His wife is a doctor, and she was at work and returned home and asked where Parker was. It was then that Christopher Schultz realized that he had left Parker in the car. Here's the 911 call.
What are you reporting? She was in the car sleeping. She's unresponsive.
Okay. And who is she?
Please.
My daughter.
My daughter. Please.
And this was out in the driveway?
Yes.
Is she still breathing?
No, she's not breathing right now.
Okay, we need to start CPR right now.
Yes, we are. We're done.
I understand. Hope we all do. I get it, hun. Completely.
CPR, yes. Oh my God. How long has it been? Half hour. It was, but it turns off. I've been checking. Oh my God.
Okay, is she breathing yet?
Is she breathing? No.
Now, medics arrived at the home in the town of Marana and tried to save Parker. The footage from inside the house is blurred.
Anything.
Schultz then questions why police officers are inside his home.
Oh, yeah, let's see some more. What's going on? Why are you with me? Because we were first responders and we were on scene. And anytime they call us, anything like this happens, they call us.
At one point, Christopher Schultz talks about his car parked in the driveway. He said he left Parker in it with the AC on, just as he claimed in the 911 call.
The AC was on. What car was it? You guys all here for me? My MDX. The one parked in the driveway. The black one? Okay. The blue. No blue.
Me too, at least.
Are you guys here for me?
Morning, Miss Heather. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, this guy is a lazy piece of shit. Just so you guys know. Sorry.
Yeah, we want to do everything we can now. That's why you have so many of us. This is my worst nightmare.
Christopher Schultz is distraught. What parent wouldn't be? But he's hoping Parker can be saved. His wife, though, knows it's too late.
She's dead. Like, I need to be with her right now.
Oh my God, I know. No.
Hey, go ahead. And I'm gonna tell you guys, as a first responder, there's no way that this dude checked on this child while she was in his car, air on or not. That car had to have turned off quite a ways before. Okay, and he completely ignored that. She was out there for quite a while for her to pass from this. I'm gonna tell you right now. That's a fact. And I've seen these situations happen before. He's full of shit. 100%. He's lying. He's lazy. He was too busy playing fucking video games instead of being a father to his child. And I'm sick of seeing this shit happen. And now, wait till you see the next part of this. What happens?
Yeah, they're going to Banner right now. We're going to keep you updated with everything, okay? We just need to stand by with you right now, all right? Is that your wife out there? Yes. Okay. We're going to make sure she gets down there okay, all right? We have officers escorting her down there. If we need to, we will drive her down there, and we'll make the same accommodations for you, all right?
Yeah, I saw that, Kent.
We'll keep you updated.
We actually looked at that yesterday, Kent. I don't know if you were here for it, but yeah, we did. We covered it. Yeah, Lucy. Sorry, Heather. Sorry. I know there's a couple out there, but this one just makes me absolutely sick. What's happening? Be real. Good to see you.
With everything they have there.
Christopher Schultz was in the house with police for quite a while, and then his wife called.
She wants me to try and get her right to the hospital.
Hey, we'll accommodate that for you, all right? We're just gonna need to get a statement from you about what happened, what's been going on. Obviously, I know this isn't easy for you, okay? It's not easy for anyone around right now.
You know what? No, bullshit. Sorry. Easy for nothing. All you had to do was take your lazy ass when you stepped out of the car, you unlocked the door, sleeping or not sleeping. You didn't want to have to deal with her is what it was. He wanted to go inside like the child that he is mentally and play a video game and not have to deal with this child being awake and running around. That's what this piece of shit's problem was. Excuse my phrasing, y'all, but this pisses me off to no end. I've seen too many of these things happen in real life, okay? I'm over this kind of stuff. You don't want to be a parent to your kids? Then don't have them. Otherwise, when you're a stay-at-home dad, you have nothing else to do in your life. Your wife is taking care of you. She's a doctor, for Christ's sakes. Do your job as a parent and a father. No. There is no excuse for this. I don't care what he says. None. And if you're hard on you, my ass, I'm sorry, but I'm beyond angry with this.
We're going to keep you updated with everything we hear. Do you want to sit down somewhere? Where would you be most comfortable?
Sure.
You want me to refill this for you? That's it. Is that all right?
Schultz explained why he didn't park the car in the garage that day.
I'm sorry this is all going on.
We always park that car in the garage usually, but I just got a Peloton recently, and the Peloton is in the garage now, so that's why it's not even in the garage. But
And how long was she sleeping in the car out there?
I want to say it was no more than 30, 45 minutes, and I don't think their air was off that entire.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit, and I'm telling you from personal experience, there's no way the heat. Okay, first off, Arizona is super hot. Okay. You park in the driveway, the sun is beaming down, it's super hot in that car. You're crazy. No way, dude. No.
Time. I think there was a time in between. I checked on her last. It was still running. She was still sleeping. And then when I went back out, the car.
And that's it right there, folks. When we covered this the first time, that's fact. LL, thank you. This dipshit did this before. He's done this before. And luckily nothing happened at that time. Well, this time he got caught with it because now they lost a child over this. It's insanely disgusting to me. One time is too many times. Not to mention you're gonna do it again and again. I hope. Oh my God, you have no clue, folks. This makes me so sick.
Car was off.
Christopher Schultz then planned to go to the hospital, but there was a bit of a hiccup.
Just to let you know, I don't want to feel like we're intruding, but we're gonna have to stand by with you for a while. All right.
Is there a reason why?
So any death, we have to treat like a crime scene. I know this is extremely difficult for you. This is a normal process that we have to follow through with. I don't want you to be blindsided by anything, but that's what's going to be going on for right now, okay?
So I'm being treated like a murderer?
No.
I just lost my...
Not at all. I know that.
But you are. In my opinion, he is. So he should be treated that way. Sorry. Not sorry.
And I know this isn't easy for you. That's why I'm trying to be straightforward and honest with you, okay? I don't want to keep any secrets. I don't want to hide anything for you. Someone's going to talk to you about what happened, though. All right?
Exactly, Kent.
We will keep you updated with everything.
My whole family, my whole family's going to be ruined.
Would it be all right? So we can't let you do that right now.
Is there a problem with the audio, somebody? Are you guys hearing me and hearing this? Oh, okay, LL. I got you, hon. Okay. No worries.
We have to stand by with you, okay? As soon as you can, we will let you know.
You can stay in the room if you want, but I'm going to talk.
I know this isn't easy for you, but the quicker we get this done and finished up, the sooner you can be with your wife, all right?
I'm trying to rinse off so I can go to the hospital to be with my wife.
We're not going to shower or anything right now. You need to stand by with us.
I don't understand why.
Okay.
Days later, Christopher Schultz was...
Why are you worried about taking a shower? Your child just died. Okay? You're worried about taking a shower. This is sickening to me.
Charged with second-degree murder. That charge was later upgraded by the grand jury to first-degree murder.
Good.
Not because prosecutors believe Schultz intended to kill Parker, but because his children told police he had repeatedly left Parker in the car to nap in the past. A child abuse charge was also added. Schultz has pleaded not guilty to the charges, and in March, prosecutors offered a plea deal.
Mr. Schultz, are you comfortable reading and writing in English? Yes. All right, you've been able to understand the court proceedings?
Yes.
And have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication in the past 24 hours?
No.
Do you feel like you're thinking clearly today?
Yes.
And you've had the opportunity to consult with your attorney concerning the plea agreement?
Yes.
If you had questions about the plea agreement, were they answered to your satisfaction?
Yes.
Do you understand that the state does not have to offer you this plea again after today?
Yes.
The exposure that the attorneys agree on is that if you are convicted at trial, you would face a possible natural life sentence on count 1.
Yeah, guys, just hold up. Hold up and watch and see what happens here. This is insane to me that this even happened.
And for the count 2, dangerous crimes against children, the sentencing range would be between 10 and 24 years. The presumptive sentence is 17 years. Both of those would be flat time sentences. Do you have any questions about that exposure at trial, if you did go to trial and if you were convicted? Okay. The plea offer that has been extended to you is a second-degree murder, which would be an amended count 1. The sentencing range exposure is 10 to 25 years. What is the presumptive, Mr. Strauss? I'm sorry. 16. Thank you. The presumptive is 16 years. That would also be a flat time sentence. Do you understand that that is a plea offer? Okay. And that there's a maximum statutory fine of $150,000. There can be up to 83% surcharge as well. There is also a requirement that the court order community supervision. upon a completion of a prison sentence. Are there any other operative terms that the court's overlooked?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Adair?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Schultz, are you being threatened in any way to reject the plea agreement? Has anybody promised you anything outside of this courtroom or the plea agreement to compel you or force you to reject the plea agreement? This is your decision? Okay. And understanding the consequences and risks of going to trial, do you want to reject the state's plea offer to second-degree murder? Right, the court does find that Mr. Schultz is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently rejecting the plea agreement.
And in a move that has made headlines and raised eyebrows, Christopher Schultz asked the judge for permission to go on a family vacation to Hawaii earlier this month. His attorney wrote, "Defendant Christopher Schultz, through counsel, hereby respectfully requests the court's permission to travel to Maui, Hawaii from May 1st, 2025 through May 9th, 2025. Defendant, his wife, and their 2 daughters will be traveling to Hawaii for a family vacation and will be staying with the couple's good friends." The prosecutor objected to the request, but the judge approved it. Schultz agreed to check in with pretrial services upon his return. He is, of course, free on bail.
So to discuss all of the hullabaloo surrounding this.
Can you believe this, you guys? Truly, can you believe this? This is insane to me. Absolutely insane.
Motion being granted, I want to bring in Kurt Altman. He is a defense attorney out there in Arizona. So, Kurt, tell me, if you would, are you surprised that the judge granted this request from Christopher Schultz attorneys to allow him to go on vacation to Hawaii? You know, a lot of people might say, you know, you're awaiting trial for murder and you're traipsing off to a tropical vacation. You're accused of, you know, causing your daughter's death, being so negligent that she passed away. But is this much ado about nothing?
Well, I don't know if it's much ado about nothing. I'm not surprised that the motion was granted. That's to answer your question in a short fashion. It's typical. He's out on release conditions. I would assume he's been perfect on his release conditions. There's no reason he can't travel out of state and come back. I think what the hullabaloo is about is frankly saying, hey, I want to go on vacation with my family to Hawaii. Just it's kind of bad optics. Doesn't really change the law and the judge's decision, but I think the optics are probably what are getting him here. And I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. How are you even thinking about going on a vacation to a paradise and having fun when you have a child that just died? No way. Nope. That tells me where the brain is, where the thought process is. Whether he comes back or not, that's not even the point. It's the fact that he's even thinking about, even the mother, in my opinion, going on a vacation like this with the person that killed their child. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. I just don't get it. I don't understand how this is okay. Rich white guy privilege just happened in Utah. Judge let a pedophile off with a slap on the wrist, citing his background as an upstanding. Right. That's insane. See what I mean? Yep. Bingo. Unbelievable. I hope this dude falls in a volcano in Hawaii. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I can't stand this kind of shit.
It was a little stunning when I first read about it. I mean, I think we need to look at big picture here. I mean, this is, you know, a horrific incident that happened. I mean, this is somebody who is accused of leaving his daughter in the car in the hot sun because the Peloton bike.
And it's not even an accusation. He did this. Okay. Look how beautiful that beautiful little angel. And this piece of shit was worried about playing a video game, and when it was too lazy to be able to chase her around, didn't feel like it. So he just left her there for way longer than what he said. I'm sorry, guys, to sound a little harsh on this, but this makes me beyond sick. And to see that you had the balls, the gall to say, can I go on vacation with my family? The thing I don't understand is that his wife wants to go with him. I don't get this. I just don't get this. So my apologies for sounding so harsh, guys, but I'm really not sorry. I'm not for him. He doesn't deserve anything but the worst thing he could have happen to him at this point. I know that sounds crazy, the volcano thing, but I just couldn't. It came out. Sorry. Elizabeth Wagner, welcome. Great to see you. God, I'm so sick over this.
Was parked in the garage. He said he left the car on running with the little girl in the car seat because she was napping. He didn't want to wake her and take her out. He said the AC was on, but the car then shut off and she's out there and she passed away because she was left in the hot car in the sun. The police say and the prosecutors say he's in there. He loses track of time because he's playing video games, and that this is something he had done consistently. But his wife, you know, from everything we know, is standing by him. They consider this.
Bingo, Mama D. That is the big picture. Everybody, including the judge that he requested this from, should be seeing. Period. He killed his child. Period. He's a murderer. There's no other way to look at that, in my opinion. I can't. I can't. And I hope when he goes to jail that he's left in general population, because when they figure it out, he's not going to have an easy stay. I'll tell you that much. Hey, Walt, thank you for joining us. I can't deal with like shit like this and people that just get slapped on the wrist and, you know, they expect certain things. Are you kidding me? Well, I expected you to be a father to your child and take care of her like you should have. And that's what his wife should expect too. And I don't understand her ability with this, or her, not ability, I'm sorry. The ability that she has to be okay with this. I don't understand this. It's insane.
A family tragedy, which it most certainly is. But, you know, they're all going on this vacation together. I mean, I think optics wise, it doesn't look great. I mean, yes, it's a family tragedy, but a little girl died. And I think people have a hard time wrapping their heads around
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing, is he rejected the plea deal because I think he thinks that he's going to beat this in court. You're good. I'm glad. I hope you get the max, bro. I hope you get the max.
Person who's accused of causing this, you know, going off to Hawaii while this happened, and you're awaiting trial for murder.
Yeah, I think the sentiment out there, probably with most people knowing the facts of the case, would be something along the lines of he shouldn't be able to go have fun, right? But then on the other hand, he's on release. He's innocent until proven guilty of these charges. He's abided with release conditions. So the judge, I'm certain, followed the law and said, sure, you could travel. Now, if I were representing him, I think I would have tried to soften it in some way. Maybe my motion says out-of-state travel on family business, or out-of-state travel with family, not to mislead, but I don't think everything has to be out there. And then in court during the hearing, which I'm sure is public, but not as public as a written motion, the court might go, what's going on? Where are you going? And that's where I'd say, well, he's going to Hawaii with his family, you know, between these dates. So there was probably a way to soften it. But legally, the judge, this doesn't surprise me, the ruling that the judge made.
And the prosecutors opposed the motion, you know, the request being granted. They didn't think he should be allowed to do this. He went on the vacation. For all we know, you know, he had to come back and check in, you know, with whomever and say, yeah, you know, I'm back, whatever. You know, and he is innocent until proven guilty. If you were this defense attorney, though, do you think you might?
The problem with the innocent until proven guilty, I fully support that. You guys know that, okay? Innocent until proven guilty in a court of law is absolutely the way it should be. The man admitted to what he did. It's known that what he did, everybody knows what he did, okay? There was no qualms with that. That's the difference. If he would have said, I have no idea what happened, if he didn't do it, and we didn't know if he did it, that's a different thing. This is known. He admitted to it. He knows what he did. He told everybody what he did. His wife knows, the police know, the first responders know that this idiot left his child in the car and she died. That's all there is to that. Okay, so the innocent until proven guilty thing to me is void at that point. Sorry. And that's bingo, Stitches. That's my point. That beautiful little angel, she's not going to Hawaii. She's not having any fun. She's gone forever. Didn't even get to live a life because her father was a piece of shit. And all he could think about is video games and the fact that he didn't feel like chasing her around. No.
Might have said, maybe this isn't a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I would have said that. And, frankly, his defense attorney probably did say that. But, sometimes it comes down to the point where we can only advise.
This guy doesn't even look like he's truly upset. Listen, first off, I wouldn't do this. But second off, I would be on the floor in a bawling my eyes out right now. Look at him. With your stupid mustache, okay? I want to take a shower and then go be with my wife. Really? Miss me with this bullshit.
And there also might be a faction out there and his wife going, hey, this will look good. We are a family. We're trying to overcome this tragedy. And ultimately, this might look good. I don't know. I would have tried to talk him out of it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Let's go now to Christopher Schultz turning down a plea offer. He is charged with first-degree murder. He wasn't charged with that at first, but they upped the charges after they got some more information and did further investigation. A lot of people would say, wow, that seems really severe for this type of case. But I think the prosecutors and the police, or at least the prosecutor, went for a first-degree murder charge because they had seen that this had been kind of a consistent thing that had happened over and over again, the child being left in the car. This wasn't a one-off. This wasn't somebody just simply, this wasn't one of those cases you hear about where, it's mommy brain and you're driving to work and you thought you took the baby to daycare. I've covered a couple of those in the past and people weren't charged, and that was controversial. But this is a different type of thing. So he turns down the plea offer for second-degree murder, which he still would have done a lot of time in prison. What do you think of that? What do you think of him turning down that plea offer?
Well, I mean, it's a good deal compared to what he could face, right? And as a defense lawyer, I'd always be like, listen, worst case scenario, you're going to do life in prison. And life, when it's a dangerous crime against children, is 35 before you're eligible. So that's a long time. So this is a pretty good deal. We can get you down to 10. I imagine the reason it was turned down is they just don't, the family unit, whether it's him and his wife or him, just don't think this was murder. And they think that a jury will not find it as murder. Now, we have manslaughter. They're going to get a lesser included offense of manslaughter. There are some lesser crimes, even negligent homicide. But it's a big, big risk to do that. A conviction of first-degree murder, the judge doesn't have much choice as to sentence.
Yeah, it seems to me that they probably think, they'll go in front of this jury and the jury will see that this was just a horrific mistake. This was an accident and no jury. I can see the family.
Sure, if it happened once, that's a horrific mistake. Multiple times, not once, not twice, not 3 times, based on what the kids and the wife said. This is a ongoing issue. That's not a mistake. That tells me that you're a fuck up. Excuse my language, but you are. And don't deserve to carry the title as father, okay? Because you don't care about anybody but you. You don't deserve to be a parent when you have that mentality, in my opinion. I'm sorry. This is not a mistake. This is you being the piece of shit that you are. Period.
Thinking to themselves, no jury will think that this was first-degree murder.
I think that's probably right. I also think, and I haven't looked at the indictment, unfortunately. I tried a little while ago, couldn't pull it up.
Agreed, Ella.
That there's probably a first-degree felony murder because leaving the child in the car is child abuse. If death occurs during child abuse, it's first-degree murder. They might not have to think about this.
Welcome, Raquel. Thank you for being here. And yes, agreed. I can't either. I don't understand this, LL. If this was my spouse that did something like this, we're done. at that point, that's cut. We're done. You killed my child. I'm out. See ya. And I hope they fry you. Period. I have no love for you at that point. And again, if it was one time and it was some form of a mistake based on something that was uncontrollable, okay, we could talk a little bit then, just a little, okay? But the fact that this moron did this time and time and time again, no, we're done. You're out. Bye. And I wouldn't allow this idiot to be around any of the other children. None. I wouldn't trust him. And let alone taking him to Hawaii on a paradise vacation. Give me a break. Hell no.
You know, the prosecutor's certainly not going to say, hey, this is premeditated murder. They're going to say child abuse or the death insurance. It's first-degree murder, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have any other choice. But it's a big risk, you know, but this could go down to, Anjanette, all the way to a negligent homicide, which would be probation eligible as a lesser included offense. So it's depends on what the jury sees and how well this present.
Bingo, SRBB. By the way, welcome, SRBBBB. Good to see you today, dear. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. And she's a doctor, for Christ's sakes. Okay? A doctor. Nope. Hell no.
Goes, but man, that's a big risk.
It is a big risk, and it'll be up to the jury in the end. We will see how it all unfolds later this year. Thank you so much, Kurt Altman.
Unbelievable, you guys. This I'm so hot right now. I can feel my blood pressure went up. Unbelievable to me. Every time I look at this case, I blew up the last time we looked at this case, knowing that he wanted to go to Hawaii too, and thought that he should. No. Hell no. Unbelievable. It's partially what's wrong with our justice system. It's things like that happen. And then you have situations like Delphi and the Idaho 4 case, and you know there's problems here, and they don't even look at that, but they'll let this shit happen. You know what I mean? Blows my damn mind. Sorry I'm going off today, guys. I know I apologize too much too, but I feel bad when I say certain things and act a certain way in front of you guys, because I try to control my anger a lot of times, because a lot of these cases really pull it out of me. They really do. By the way, I do have an update on the case we covered yesterday. The fatal hit and run of Ava Moore. You guys remember that? I have an update on that for you as well. One moment. If it'll let me do it. Hold on one second. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. Like I said, some of these cases, my blood pressure goes up for some of these. I probably shouldn't be doing some of these, but just saying. Just saying. For those of you that may not have been here yesterday, I covered a case out of Texas where there was a woman that was hit by a jet ski, and she ended up dying, and the woman took off. So yeah, that probation eligible thing can't blows my mind. There's no way anybody. But so this is an update on that situation. Hopefully it's some kind of good news. I haven't seen this yet, but I did get this sent to me, so I want to make sure you guys got it. As soon as the audio comes on.
Good morning. If everyone's ready, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Maggie Berger, and I'm a spokesperson for the Texas.
This is a little bit low. You may have to turn this up, guys. I'll double check my settings too.
Texas Parks and Wildlife Law Enforcement Division. Thank you all so much for attending and giving us the opportunity to speak about the fatal incident on Grapevine Lake that took the life of 18-year-old Ava Moore. Texas Game Warden Captain Joseph Quintero will be providing information about the incident. Amanda McNew will speak on behalf of the Grapevine Police Department, and then we will have a few minutes for questions. Please be aware that some details may be unavailable at this time to preserve the integrity of the investigations. Now I'll turn things over to Captain Joseph Quintero.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. On the evening of May 25th, Texas Game Wardens, Grapevine Police Department, and Grapevine Fire Department responded to a call regarding a boating collision that had occurred on Grapevine Lake, in which a personal watercraft struck 18-year-old kayaker Ava Moore. The personal watercraft, which had 2 females on board, was being driven at a high rate of speed near the shoreline of Oak Grove Park when the incident occurred. The woman left the immediate area following the collision and returned the personal watercraft to Oak Grove Park. The passenger remained on shore with the witnesses as the Grapevine Fire Department began life-saving measures on Ms. Moore. The driver, 21-year-old Carolyn Alejandra Gonzalez from Venezuela, fled the scene in a vehicle with 21-year-old Michael Correo Boroso. While leaving the area, the vehicle collided with 2 other vehicles. The investigation into the automotive hit and run will be led by the Grapevine Police Department. Ms. Moore was transported to the local hospital where she was pronounced deceased. Ms. Gonzalez and Mr. Peroso were arrested in Dallas on May 27th. Ms. Gonzalez was booked at the Grapevine Police Department on manslaughter charges, which is a second-degree felony. Mr. Peroso was charged with collision involving a damage to a vehicle, which is a Class B misdemeanor, and hindering apprehension, which is a Class A misdemeanor. As we continue to investigate this tragic incident, more charges could be filed. The Texas Game Warden Forensics Reconstruction and Mapping Team will be aiding in the next part of this investigation. Recreating the collision will allow us to have a clearer picture to what happened that day. We will be updating the public once the investigation is complete and appreciate everyone's patience as we diligently work to conclude this case. We would like to take the opportunity to thank not only our local, state, and federal law enforcement officers, to include Grapevine Police Department, DPS, CID, ICE, the AG's office, Dallas Police Department, and the Game Warden Special Investigations Unit. But we would also like to thank the public for reporting information on the tip line. We received more than 900 tips from the public, which helped us provide a quick resolution for the family. We send our deepest condolences to the family during this difficult time, and we ask the public to allow them to grieve privately. Thank you.
My name is Amanda McNew. I'm the media manager for Grapevine Police. I want to start by thanking our partners at Texas Game Wardens. They have led the investigation into the tragic death of 18-year-old Ava Moore, and we are grateful for their dedication and professionalism. I also want to thank all of our federal, state, and local partners, the Texas Attorney General's Office, Texas Department of Public Safety, Dallas Police, Irving Police, and Homeland Security. Immediately following the lake incident, Grapevine Police launched an investigation into the hit and run. After the collision on the water, the woman believed to be responsible got into a car with a man who then hit 2 cars and fled the scene. That prompted an immediate search for both suspects. Thanks to the collaboration between our agencies, the dedication of our detectives day and night, and the critical tips from our public, both suspects are in custody and in our jail right now. This case has profoundly affected our community. While we understand that no arrest can undo the heartbreak to Ava Moore's family, we want to do everything we can to support her family while they ask for privacy and grieve. They need time right now, and we want to make sure that we do everything we can to give it to them and to be there for anything that they need. I'd like to bring up our victim services advocate, Michaela Moore, who's been in contact with the family and has a statement from them.
On behalf of Ava Moore's family, they would like to say, we are so thankful for the countless messages and demonstrations of love and support, but most grateful for the many prayers we have received. This is a difficult time for all involved, but also an opportunity for our beautiful girl to continue to impact our community. Out of this tragedy, God will make good, and that only can be accomplished through forgiveness. We respectfully ask for our time and privacy to grieve, and thank you for all of your kindness and support. God bless. Thank you.
Okay, Mama D, have a good one. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Hope to see you soon.
We'll now open it up for questions.
What led authorities, please, to this arrest in Dallas exactly, and where was the male suspect caught?
Ultimately, what led to the arrest was the, as we were saying earlier, working together with our partners in law enforcement. Through tips and basically just good, hard detective work, we were able to narrow down the area or the house where we believe the suspects were. And that's where we found them. As they were observing and watching, we were able to finally use the information provided by the public and the detective work to locate them there.
You said that the female suspect is from Venezuela. Do you know if they've been living here in Dallas?
So anything in reference to their immigration status or anything like that, I can't really speak to. I'd have to refer that to our colleagues at HSI and ICE.
Are there any other charges expected potentially? And can you speak to the girl in the blue hair who you all say did stay behind? It appears from video that she only stayed behind because the public got involved and basically made her stay.
So at this time, we don't have any charges right now pending against the passenger, so we can't really speak to any more information about her identity or anything like that. But not to say that there won't be something in the future, but at this time, there are no charges pending against her.
Why is Homeland Security involved?
I will defer that to ICE to speak to that, but what we did at this point is we use every asset and every law enforcement partner we can to ensure that we could track down our suspects.
Could you speak to the jet ski? Just any basic information about who owned it, or was it rented, under what circumstances? Because my understanding is, there are legal requirements for someone to operate a rented jet ski. Can you go into some details to clarify this for our viewers?
Correct. Yes, you are correct. So in the state of Texas, if you want to operate what we call a livery, which is the business of renting a boat or jet skis in the public waters, you have to have proper permitting. And we are investigating that as part of this investigation also. We're looking into that. As far as the ownership of the jet ski, what we're doing, actually, we had a marine theft unit come in and begin to go through the jet ski to try to get ownership history to kind of figure out where it came from, how did it end up there. But that's still part of the process of the investigation. We don't have an answer to that right now. At this point, it's an ongoing investigation that hasn't come up, or we haven't made that decision or found any evidence at this point, but that's still ongoing. We're trying to look into all those right now.
You said earlier that after the accident, the driver left to return the jet ski to the park. I know we were just talking, you're investigating the ownership of it, so I guess you don't know if that was something that the park was renting out, or?
No, it wasn't the park. And when we say return, basically what we meant by that is after the immediate collision happened on the water, they returned on the jet ski to land and then departed the area trying to flee.
Welcome, Ginger.
What's the relationship between the male suspect and the female suspect that are now in custody?
At this time, what we know is they knew each other and they got in the vehicle and fled together. We don't know if they are, at that point, did they know each other more as far as relationship and stuff? That's still under investigation. We can't really answer that right now.
Can you speak to how many game wardens were out on this busy holiday weekend? Where exactly were they? And please speak to some witnesses who say, especially since y'all are saying that she went by at a high rate of speed several times, where were you guys? And speak to, please, the public who's questioning that part.
Absolutely. So we did have Texas game wardens on the water that day, patrolling Lake Grapevine. We had a boat with 2 game wardens on that water. At this time, we had boats on holiday weekends on all the major bodies of waters throughout the DFW area, Lake Lewisville, Grapevine, Benbrook, Eagle Mountain, and so forth. So we have limited resources and we have to spread them out a little bit thinly. But we did have a boat on Grapevine. They just happened to not be in that area when this incident happened. But I will tell you that multiple times we will get calls from dispatch or public of complaints of jet skis, and if we are in the area, we immediately respond. But even if not, we come there as quickly as possible to address the issue. And what you brought up is a good point. With jet skis, we want everybody to be safe.
A 50-foot rule is a standard rule for jet skis. What that means is if you're operating a jet ski, you must not be going any faster than what we call headway speed or slow idle if you're within 50 feet of any object or the shoreline in water, which obviously if they had applied that law as they were supposed to, this incident wouldn't have happened.
Were there any injuries in the car wreck when the two fled and hit two other vehicles?
Not that I'm aware of, but again, that is being led by Grapevine PD, so anything that refers to that portion of the investigation, I would have to refer to them.
Do you have anything on other fatalities or anything that have occurred with jet skis on Grapevine Lake or any of the other lakes in North Texas?
I don't have those stats with me now. I do know that we have had other fatalities involving jet skis throughout the state of Texas, obviously in the past years, but I do not have those numbers or information with me right now.
Do you know like how close to the shore the accident happened?
Oh, that's still under investigation right now to determine that.
Can kayakers be basically anywhere out on the water, or are there any rules for kayakers as well?
Good question. So kayakers are what we consider paddlecraft. And so paddlecraft have the right to be on public water just like anybody else. They have to meet certain safety requirements like other boaters, wearing life jackets, having sound producing device and things like that. But it is a responsibility of everybody boating and kayaking to be looking out for everybody else on public waters of the state of Texas.
The governor mentioned that penalty. Is that at all in the cards here?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
The governor mentioned on social media the death penalty. Is that at all in the cards?
As of now, we have filed manslaughter charges. All of that is left, obviously, to the courts to run through the system. But what we are looking at right now, what we have filed initially are manslaughter charges.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Will federal representatives be able to speak to us about immigration status and some of those questions?
Yes, I would gladly hand it over to them if they'd like to.
Is that me? What can you tell us about the immigration status of these two individuals?
Yeah, so I just want to say my name is Joshua Johnson. I'm the acting field office director for ICE ERO in Dallas, Texas. And our thoughts go out to Ava Moore's family. And I can speak to both individuals that were previously mentioned here were Venezuelan nationals in the country illegally. And we've lodged immigration detainers with the facility. Once the state of Texas goes through the process and the criminal charges, we'll take custody of them once the state of Texas is finished with them.
Can you please expand on their actual status, given that they are here in the country illegally? Does that mean that they came into the country, crossed illegally, and have they then applied for asylum? That needs to be cleared up for the public.
Sure. It's my understanding that both individuals crossed the southern border in 2023 or 2024. They were arrested at the time of entry, processed for a notice to appear, and then released on their own recognizance.
Well, Amanda, Michaela, could you talk to me a little bit about the public response from the internet to the videos that possibly aided in the apprehension of these two, to the people who carried Ava from the water? Kind of talk to me, you talked about the community, talk to me about really this community outpouring and how that's aided, not only in the investigation, but also in the possible healing for this family.
Well, I will say as a community, Grapevine is a resilient community, very family-oriented, and I think that speaks a lot to who we are, both as a department and a city. And I think that always helps this community heal, all of North Texas. Families come together. When we spoke to the family, they have talked about the overwhelming outpouring of support, that they are getting more outreach than they can even know what to do with at this point. And that it's a lot, and that they have been praying, and that they're very grateful for what they have, and that it's so much that they just need to grieve and process right now, but that it has been a lot.
Is there anything that y'all would be able to say about Miss Moore, type of person she is, anything y'all can share with us about her?
So Ms. Moore was a current student in the United States Air Force Academy. Her family was very proud and mentioned that. They have received outpouring of support from both her school she was at, their church, family, and friends. And they just want this to stay focused on their loss and what they're experiencing, and emphasize all the good works Ava did, and just focus on her and keep this, the reason we're all here is to honor Ava and her family.
Do you happen to know the name of the church? Family thing?
At this time, I want to respect their privacy and let them keep going through their process.
Ms. Amanda, did either of the suspects have anything to say at the time of their arrest or therefore afterward? Did they say anything about like what they say happened or whether they say it was an accident, whatever?
I mean, that's part of the investigation.
I have another question about their immigration status. So after the charges are tried in court, how is that going to work on the immigration front? Will they be deported?
So both individuals will have to see an immigration judge who will decide whether they are removed back to Venezuela.
There won't be a bond, correct? There will be an immigration hold, would you say?
I would think that a bond would be inappropriate in this case.
Do the suspects have any other ties to criminal organizations?
I don't have that information.
How soon can that happen that they will see a judge?
Right now, they're in the custody of the state, and so once the state is finished with their state charges, they'll turn them over on the ICE detainer, and then they will proceed through the immigration process.
Is there anyone who could talk about how the situation went through yesterday, walk us through the events of taking her into custody, please?
I won't be able to get into too much detail with that because it was an operation and I personally was not there. But what I can say, it was a joint operation among different agencies together, working, bringing all of our resources in to find these individuals and bring them in. But as far as everything leading up to that point, again, this is an ongoing investigation, and I can just say that it was just the hard work of multiple agencies working together to ensure that we bring justice.
Excuse me, I was there yesterday, and I remember hearing that she was held up on the upstairs, and when it come down, can you guys talk about that?
I have no details on that right now.
We'll allow 2 more questions and then we're going to wrap up.
Could you just speak to just the scene itself, how tragic and callous perhaps, if that's a word that you want to use, of this could have been just a horrible accident if they had stayed, but then how the public got involved, not only trying to save Ava, but also literally trying to stop these people from leaving. Can you give us a little bit of heart in all of this?
Absolutely. Horrific scene. The tragic, unnecessary death of anybody on the public waters of the state of Texas is something that we're always fighting to try to deter and stop from happening. And this is a great example of that. As Texas game wardens, public safety is our primary concern when on the public waters of the state of Texas to keep people safe. That scene showed how the community came together to try to do what they could to help when they saw something horrible happen. And that is what I like to kind of concentrate on this right now, is that the public came to her aid and tried to do what they could possibly do there until first responders could get there. As far as the other portion of the crowd getting involved with the suspects and things like that, that's, I've heard a lot of reports. We've all seen the videos out there, and that's part of our ongoing investigations and things that we're not going to really speak to right now as we try to figure those things out. But it is a tragic situation, and I hope that people will take this and use this opportunity to not only remember Ms. Moore, but also to remember to be safe on the public waters. That when you do things out on the public waters, when you make decisions, they not typically only affect you, but they will affect the people around you. So take that moment to try to be safe in everything that you do there and be responsible.
Captain, can we just get the spelling of your last name, please?
Absolutely. The spelling of my last name is Quintero.
Just what happens now, just for all of us?
Sure. As we said before, we will continue on in our investigations. We're having our game warden forensics reconstruction and mapping team coming in now. So we have a forensics team that can come in, map, and actually use technology to recreate the boat accident. And that is our next step. And they will be coming here and doing that, and then we will be collecting all that information and continuing on building the case for submission.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
So we will thank you all again for attending and your attention this morning. We'll be distributing a press release later today, and that'll have the spellings and all of that information in it regarding the case. I'm sorry? Not at this time, I don't believe. So, thank you.
She's an older woman and doesn't eat certain things anymore.
All right, y'all. Sorry about that. It's a really sad situation here. Very sad, very sad. And then I do have this update as well from the shooting that we talked about as well. 1 second here, guys. I want to give you this update too. Hang on. This just popped off an hour ago. Yeah, this update just dropped an hour ago. This was from the shooting that we talked about yesterday as well. Hey, Sandy, Colorado. Good to see you.
Higgins.
I thought you were here earlier, Taylor. Nothing from other than what I said earlier. No, you was in here earlier when I gave the update on that, Taylor, remember?
Was right here with the state police to offer a great deal of assistance as well. So thank you to all of them for their continued support. Our thoughts, of course, are first and foremost with the victims, the individuals who were injured in this senseless violence. I'm happy to be able to report that 3 of the 5 victims are out of the hospital. 2 are remain in the hospital here in Waterbury, but they're in stable condition. And the most seriously injured was a young lady who was hit in the spine, but she does now have some feeling in her extremities, and she's going to be doing some rehab. So hopefully she will not find herself paralyzed. We'll see how that develops. We also, feel for those who were here, the shoppers, the witnesses, the folks who work in the mall. It was a very traumatic experience for them as well. To the police department, to our fire department, to all of our first responders, I want to say it was a job well done. They were here within minutes. They were rushing inside before the building was secured, the police officers, the state troopers who were here, but also our firemen and our EMTs and our ambulance personnel as well. They went in without any concern for their own danger, were able to get the 5 victims out, and I am sure that as a result of their work yesterday, lives were saved.
That's awesome, Miss Sandy. I'm grateful to have you here. I appreciate it. Outcast has a great channel. I've seen quite a few people that we've met that have joined us from Outcast channel as well, and we're beyond grateful for it. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much.
Here as well. I also want to acknowledge and thank the hospital staff at both St. Mary's and Waterbury Hospital. They, 5 traumatic cases going between those 2 hospitals, and they did a terrific job of patching people up and obviously keeping them well, with 3 of them already on their way home. To the Grass, people here who worked at the Brass Mall, they were helpful as well. They guided people out. They helped keep things calm here. People were hidden and were protected. So I want to thank them for what they did. This is not part of what their normal day would be like, and yet they all did a terrific job as well. Later this morning, we are going to be meeting with Stacy Mendyka, the Chief Spagnola, and I, to talk about enhanced safety here at the mall and things that we can do to be sure people feel safe. This was a one-off incident. The mall is safe, the city is safe, but we do feel that it's important that we have these conversations about what we can do to make people feel safe. I would encourage people to come back to the mall. This was, as I said, a one-off incident. It was a random act of violence. It was not a random act of violence. It was an effect. 2 young men who knew each other, had a history and a past. They got into a beef here. There were 4 young women with the victim, and so the perpetrator, when he was called out, instead of having what would have at one time been a fist fight, but because he was armed, came out with a pistol, shot the guy he was having a problem with and the 4 women who were with him as well. And those are the 5 Those are the 5 victims. So at this point, he is in custody, and the chief will be able to give you some more information about that in a couple of minutes. But he is in custody, so he is no longer loose. The mall has been searched and secured, and there's nothing to worry about here. As a city, obviously we are very shaken to have this happen here in Waterbury, but we're not broken. This is a strong city, and we are very much standing together in times of crisis. We support and we care for one another, and we are going to continue moving forward as a city. So to every resident of the city, please know that we're all here for you. We're working hard, we're listening, and we're committed to keep.
Yeah, guys, please go check out Outcast's channel if you have not yet done it. I promise you won't be disappointed. He does some great things over there. It's always a good time over there. Every time I'm over there, he's very good to the community and treats them very, very well. We respect him and love his channel. So, guys, please go check out Outcast if you have not yet. You promise you won't be disappointed. Hit the notification bell, subscribe, and like his stuff because he does a great job with the audio and stuff over there. He's just a great dude, and we love him. So we appreciate him very much being part of this community now. So please go check him out.
Keeping Waterbury safe and strong. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Spagnola, who can tell you a little bit more about what's actually happening. Thank you, Chief.
Good morning, everyone. And as the mayor said, thank you to all the state delegation, the governor, especially the state police, Commissioner Higgins and Colonel Loftman for their strong support. They were here within minutes yesterday, as well as all our federal law enforcement partners as well. And our state's attorney's office, our state's attorney Maureen Platt had a contingent of inspectors and attorneys on scene to assist us. It was a chaotic scene when we first got here. First responding officers found 5 people that were wounded by gunfire. They weren't quite sure if there was an active shooter still on scene. They did a tremendous amount of work in a short period of time. It was very accurate work, very diligent work. We were able to identify who the shooter was and that the shooter had left the property. Throughout the evening and through a variety of investigative techniques, which included the latest technology and some forensic technology that we have the capability of using, we were able to identify a suspect and ultimately establish probable cause and make an arrest of that suspect. That party is Taewan Washington. He's 19 years old. He lives here in the city of Waterbury. He is currently in custody, being held on a $2 million bond, charged with 5 counts of assault first degree and a number of weapons violation charges. He will be presented.
I agree. He definitely is, Christine, and I'm grateful to hear that. Hey, Christopher, good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us.
In court, probably within the next hour or so. The investigation continues on with interviews of witnesses and folks that were at the scene. And as the mayor said, you know, the community, the shoppers, the workers here at the mall really came together. People really went with their instincts. They were able to shelter in place. They were very cooperative in assisting with law enforcement's efforts to make the scene safe. It took us quite a bit of time because obviously it's a very large area. We wanted to make sure that we left no stone unturned. And I commend all the police officers, especially the Waterbury police officers that were here on scene yesterday, for a great job done. I'll turn it over to Commissioner Higgins now.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. Within minutes, the state's largest police force, the Connecticut State Police, was on scene assisting the Waterbury Police Department. That collaboration and cooperation isn't just something that happens in emergencies. That is something that happens regularly here in the city of Waterbury between the state and local and federal law enforcement officials. As the mayor said, yesterday was not an ordinary day, but today we're here to stand with the Waterbury Police Department, the mayor, the delegation, and the entire Waterbury community to make sure people know that the Waterbury Mall is safe. We're here not just to support them in their time right now, but in the future as we go forward. There's a lot that's going on right now. I commend the Waterbury Police Department, their investigators, for working through the night onto this morning. The chief has shared that they have made an arrest. That individual will be presented in court momentarily, and that's a good thing. This was a targeted incident. But gun violence isn't something that we will ever accept. It is not okay to come to a mall and then find yourself a victim of gun violence. It is not okay for someone to come here to work, okay, and find themselves hiding, sheltering in place. Thankfully, the first responders, the police, the fire, everyone who responded, even those who came to work in the mall that day that found themselves having to assist. We commend them for their efforts, and we thank them. I'm going to turn it over right now to Congresswoman Jahana Hayes. Congresswoman.
Thank you, and thank you to Mayor.
Okay, guys, I'm not going to run this whole thing because they've given the gist of it, and we'll be here for quite a while on this. So what we're going to do is we basically got what we needed to know about people doing okay with this one and so forth and who the person was. What we're going to do now is jump into our cold cases that I bring to you guys. Hold on 1 minute here. One minute, guys. I'm sorry. Exactly, Elisa. Exactly. Let me see here. 1 minute.
There's nothing left on the gun.
All right, guys. I'm just getting it to load up here. Give me one. All right, guys, we're moving on to Pennsylvania today. We hit Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky. Now we're moving into Pennsylvania. I'm going to throw just a few of these quicker laid out cold cases to you to keep them in the news, to bring some attention back to them because they've been cold, some of them, for so long that nobody's even paying attention anymore. And that's horrible to me. So today we're in Pennsylvania. So let's see what we got going on.
Suburban life. It was a place where Pennsylvania, the mid-1970s, often conjured images of idyllic, carefree suburban life. It was a place where doors were often left unlocked, and children, after school and on weekends, roamed freely, riding bikes until dusk without a second thought. For the Eaton family, their home on Moccasin Trail had been a sanctuary for 2 decades, a place of quiet stability where Roland and Joan Eaton had raised 3 children and built a life that seemed utterly secure. But on one particular Saturday in May, that picture of perfect tranquility would be irrevocably shattered, replaced by an agonizing mystery that has endured for nearly 5 decades. This is the story of Wendy Eaton, a young girl who simply vanished into thin air. On May 17th, 1975, Roland and Joan Eaton woke up to an unremarkable Saturday morning. The sun shone brightly, promising a perfect day in the mid-70s, inviting optimism. Their 2 oldest children, Richard, 19, and Nancy, 21, were away at college, carving out paths of their own. But their youngest, almost 16-year-old Wendy, was still very much the beloved child of the home. Petite and delicate, at just 4 feet 10 inches and weighing a mere 90 pounds, Wendy was often mistaken for someone much younger. Her parents doted on her as the baby of the family, the last piece of their child-rearing journey. That particular morning held a small celebration. Wendy had just earned her learner's permit. It was a quiet milestone, celebrated as modestly as she did everything. Her subdued pride was masked by her naturally soft-spoken nature. Roland and Joan were thrilled, acknowledging their youngest was taking steps toward the independence they knew was inevitable. Yet, in Wendy's case, adulthood still seemed so far away. She was idealistic, a girl who immersed herself in wholesome church activities, played guitar, and piano beautifully and clung to her favorite television shows. She was sweet, responsible, and utterly devoted to her family. Around mid-morning, Roland and Joan decided to take advantage of the beautiful weather and plan a round of golf at a nearby country club. Before they left, they found Wendy sunbathing on the flat roof outside her bedroom window, a favorite perch during peaceful weekends. The sunlight made her brown hair glow, and her small frame appeared even more fragile stretched out against the shingles. Joan poked her head outside the window. "Wendy, we're heading to the club. Do you want to come with us?" she asked cheerfully. Wendy shook her head without opening her eyes, her voice light as she replied, "No thanks. I think I'll go to the mall later to pick up a present for Richard's birthday." It was a simple, innocent exchange, one that would replay in their minds with agonizing precision for the rest of their lives. Roland and Joan drove off, utterly content, believing their youngest child was safe at home, enjoying a carefree afternoon. As far as they could tell, it was a normal, forgettable day. The Eaton family's quiet day unraveled just after 5:30 p.m. when Roland and Joan returned home. The house was still empty, which wasn't unusual, but something felt wrong. When he should have been back by then, possibly getting ready for the church choir rehearsal, where she was scheduled to perform that evening. Music was her passion. She never missed a concert, practicing tirelessly to perfect each performance. Joan tried to reassure herself. Maybe she went straight to the church, she told Roland. But it wasn't like Winnie to skip out on plans without a note. She was a creature of habit, preferring routine over spontaneity. They checked her room. Her bed was unmade, a habit her parents had long given up correcting. Her bathing suit lay crumbled on the floor, evidence of her earlier sunbathing. A John Denver record sat out, its sleeve on a shelf, and a stack of church sheet music was neatly organized near her piano. But then, details emerged that raised concern. Her purse was still there, odd for a shopping trip. Her learner's permit, her meager spending money, all untouched. Joan picked up the permit, the symbol of Wendy's nascent independence, and the worry began to slowly sink in. Roland, trying to quell the rising panic, drove to the church. He hoped to see her, guitar in hand. Instead, he was met with confusion. Her friends were gathering, but none had seen Wendy all day. "Are you sure she didn't just decide to stay home?" one girl asked. Roland forced a tight smile, muttering, "She's probably on her way." He left quickly, his heart pounding against his ribs, driving back home. By 7 p.m., there was no longer any question. Something was terribly wrong. Joan was frantic, calling Wendy's friends one by one, each call bringing the same devastating answer. No one had seen Wendy. "You don't think she ran away, do you?" Joan asked a friend, clutching the receiver. The friend hesitated, then replied, "Wendy? No, that's not like her at all." They both knew Wendy wasn't the type to disappear. She was grounded, loyal, and incredibly close to her family. Running away simply didn't make sense. Finally, after exhausting every possible avenue, Roland made the call to the police. "Our daughter is missing." The small police department's initial response was cautious, accustomed to teenagers who often reappeared. But as Joan and Roland described Wendy's character, her faith, her lack of interest in dating, her strict adherence to routines, it became clear that this case didn't fit the mold of a typical runaway. As darkness fell, neighbors gathered in hushed clusters outside the Eaton home. The quiet cul-de-sac, usually so serene, buzzed with tension. Police officers knocked on doors, asking if anyone had seen Wendy. A handful of witnesses came forward. "I saw her walking toward the mall," one neighbor said. "It must have been a little after 3. Another man, who had driven down Indian Lane, noted something chilling. "I passed her on the road at 3:10. I had to run an errand, and when I came back the same way, just 7 minutes later, she was gone." In a span of 7 minutes, Wendy Eaton had vanished in a thin air. The police search for Wendy began in earnest the following morning. Officers from the Pennsylvania State Police joined local law enforcement, canvassing the area where Wendy had last been seen, the intersection of Indian Lane and Media Station Road. It was a quiet, tree-lined area, surrounded by suburban homes and patches of woods. To the untrained eye, nothing seemed amiss. But to investigators, the lack of any physical evidence was troubling. Tracking dogs were brought in, starting in Wendy's bedroom where her scent was strongest. The dogs meticulously led their handlers down the road, retracing Wendy's likely path toward the mall. But when they reached the corner of Indian Lane and Media Station Road, the dogs hesitated. After a moment, they sat down, signaling that Wendy's trail ended abruptly. It was as if she had simply disappeared from that spot. The logical, chilling conclusion: Wendy had likely been picked up by someone in a vehicle. The sudden loss of her scent was consistent with the car stopping and Wendy getting inside, either willingly or by force. Detectives considered both scenarios. If Wendy had been picked up by someone she knew, it would explain the lack of struggle. But who? Friends, neighbors, church acquaintances, all were questioned. The possibility of abduction loomed darkly. Neighbors had seen Wendy, but none had seen her get into a vehicle. If she had accepted a ride from someone familiar, it might have looked entirely normal, even innocuous, to a casual observer. The days immediately following Wendy's disappearance brought a flurry of activity, but no answers. The investigation felt like chasing a phantom. The absence of struggle or any dropped possession confounded investigators. In most missing person cases, there's something to work with. If she had been kidnapped, the abductor had acted swiftly and silently, leaving no trace. And yet, there were no indications that Wendy had left voluntarily either. Her purse, money, and that new learner's permit remained in her room. And crucially, her Bibles were still there. A deeply religious girl, Wendy would have undoubtedly taken at least one of them if she had planned to leave. Tips poured in from across the state, some hopeful, others heartbreaking, a few absurd. Then, a week after Wendy did.
Thanks so much, Kimmy. God bless, hon. We appreciate you very much. We miss you here, too. It's good to have you here. I hope you're having a great day. Be safe out there, hon.
Disappeared, a peculiar lead emerged. A Chicago-based runaway hotline reported receiving a call from a girl who claimed she was a 15-year-old from Media, Pennsylvania, running away. She gave no further details before hanging up. Police couldn't confirm if the call was genuine or a cruel hoax, but the timing was eerie. It was the only lead that even remotely suggested Wendy might still be alive, and the Eatons clung to it, desperate for any scrap of hope. The most disturbing development came from a different direction entirely. A man named William C. Richardson and a 17-year-old boy were arrested for extortion after demanding a $10,000 ransom from Wendy's parents in exchange for information about her whereabouts. The boy was arrested when he went to collect the first installment, implicating Richardson. But it was a cruel hoax. Neither knew where Wendy was. They had simply preyed on the Eatons' unimaginable grief and desperation. As weeks turned into months, theories about what happened to Wendy swirled through the community. The theory that gained the most traction, however, was far more unsettling. Rumors began circulating that Wendy had been recruited by a religious cult. In the mid-1970s, groups like the Children of God and the Unification Church were attracting teenagers with promises of spiritual fulfillment. Wendy's strong faith and gentle, trusting nature made her a prime target for manipulation. Police investigated a group known as the Forever Family, a fundamentalist Christian organization with aggressive recruitment tactics. Several sightings of a girl matching Wendy's description with Forever family members were reported across the state, from King of Prussia to Scranton. Investigators followed up on every lead, but each time, their hopes were dashed. The girls turned out to be other runaways or remained unidentified. Wendy's parents were skeptical, but felt compelled to explore every avenue. Roland even attended Forever family meetings in disguise, scanning every face, desperately hoping for a glimpse of his daughter. Joan wrote letters to other cults across the country, begging for information. Every effort led only to disappointment. By the end of 1975, the investigation had stalled. Police had exhausted every lead, and the Eatons were left to grapple with the unbearable silence. The holidays were particularly cruel. Joan couldn't bring herself to decorate the house. Roland spent Christmas Eve driving through nearby towns, stopping at shelters and bus stations, handing out flyers, a futile but desperate act. Over the years, other theories emerged. Some believed Wendy had fallen victim to a serial killer operating in the area. At least 6 other young women had gone missing in Delaware counties around the same time, 5 of whose bodies were later found in a wooded area near Tinicum. While police initially considered a connection, they later ruled it out, as the other victims were linked to a local motorcycle gang known as the Warlocks, a world Wendy had no ties to. The lack of answers weighed heavily on the Eatons. Roland became consumed by the search, spending countless weekends hiking through wooded areas, always searching. Joan withdrew from the world, unable to reconcile her faith with the agony of losing her daughter. In 1983, after 8 agonizing years of fruitless searching, the Eatons made the heartbreaking decision to have Wendy declared legally dead. The ruling brought no closure, only a grim acknowledgement of reality. Roland and Joan lived out the rest of their lives haunted by unanswered questions, never stopping their quiet search. Joan passed away in 1995, followed by Roland in 2007. Neither of them ever stopped believing that Wendy was out there, somewhere. Today, the case remains open. Detectives still periodically review the file, holding on to the hope that new evidence or advances in technology, like DNA testing or facial recognition software, might finally emerge. Until then, Wendy Eaton's disappearance remains one of Pennsylvania's most enduring mysteries. Wendy Eaton has been missing since May 17, 1975. If you have any information, please contact the Media Police Department at 610-565-0210 or the Pennsylvania State Police.
Port can make a difference.
In May, that ordinary scene would become the backdrop for an extraordinary mystery, leaving behind a family in anguish and a disappearance that still echoes through the decades. This is the enduring story of Kathleen Kelly. Kathleen Kelly was just a teenager, a bright and vibrant 15-year-old, when she was last seen on May 22, 1981. That day, like many Fridays, she headed to the Cheese Arena skating rink in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. She wasn't alone. She was with her brother-in-law and several nieces and nephews, who, despite the familial titles, were close to Kathleen's age, making them more like friends. The rink itself was familiar territory, as both Kathleen's brother-in-law and her sister, Judy Stanko, who was over 20 years older than Kathleen, worked there. At some point during the day, Kathleen grew restless. Teenagers get bored. So, she decided to leave the rink and walk the 8 blocks to her sister Judy's house. Judy was home alone with her infant daughter. For about an hour, the sisters chatted, a seemingly ordinary afternoon visit. Then, Kathleen announced she was leaving again, planning to walk the final 6 blocks to her own home in Springdale. Judy, with the intuition of an older sister, felt a subtle unease. She asked Kathleen if she was sure she wanted to walk alone. Kathleen, however, simply replied she would be fine, and then she was gone. Judy was left with a lingering feeling that Kathleen was being evasive, that perhaps she had secret plans for the evening. It was a premonition that would soon turn into a chilling reality. Kathleen Kelly never arrived home that day. She was never heard from again. In the immediate aftermath, the family was plunged into a desperate search. But from the outset, the case was heavily influenced by a specific theory. Kathleen's niece, Kimberly Robertson, who was close to Kathleen, believed her aunt was not abducted. Kimberly felt there were unspecified problems at Kathleen's home at the time, leading her to believe Kathleen had run away to escape them, with no intention of returning. This belief, tragically, resonated with law enforcement. The police, from the very beginning, treated Kathleen's disappearance as a runaway case. In the early 1980s, resources for such cases were often limited compared to suspected abductions. There were no obvious signs of a struggle, no forced entry, no immediate evidence of foul play. As a result, Kathleen's case was not seriously investigated in those crucial early hours and days. The precious window for gathering fresh leads, for potentially finding a different outcome, slowly closed with each passing hour the case remained labeled as a voluntary departure. Years crawled by. The initial hopes faded, replaced by the heavy silence of an unsolved mystery. Then, nearly a decade after Kathleen vanished, a series of perplexing phone calls offered a tantalizing, yet frustrating, glimpse of what might have happened. Around 1991, Kimberly Robertson began receiving strange calls at her Springdale home. The first was chillingly direct. "You know who I am, and I'm fine," a voice stated simply, before the line immediately went dead. Was it Kathleen? After so many years, the possibility was both electrifying and terrifying. The calls continued, but became even more cryptic. Kimberly would pick up the phone, only to be met with silence on the other end. She would speak, pleading, "Is that you, Kathleen?" Each time, the only response was the click of the caller hanging up. These silent calls, broken only by Kimberly's desperate questions, spoke volumes. A yearning for connection, perhaps a subtle message, or even a desperate plea from someone who couldn't speak freely. Kimberly also held another significant belief that complicated the timeline of the disappearance itself. She stated that she believed Kathleen actually vanished in 1980, not 1981, as is officially listed. This discrepancy, while seemingly minor, adds another layer of uncertainty to a case already shrouded in ambiguity. Despite the passage of over 40 years, the mystery of Kathleen Kelly endures. Was she a runaway, escaping difficulties as her niece believed? Did she intentionally sever ties, only to offer those fleeting, enigmatic phone calls years later? Or did something far more sinister befall her after she left her sister's home? The lack of an immediate, comprehensive investigation in 1981 has left her family with decades of unanswered questions. The calls to Kimberly Robertson remain a haunting mystery, neither confirming Kathleen's safety nor fully explaining her absence. Kathleen Kelly's case remains unsolved, categorized as a missing person. On a seemingly ordinary Monday in the spring of 1987, a man left his job, drove away in his car, and simply vanished. This isn't just a missing persons case. It's a chilling tale of family feuds, suspected crime, and a brother's unsettling past. This is the enduring mystery of William Muller. It was March 23, 1987. William Muller, a plumber, finished his shift at SmithKline Beecham, located at 15th and Spring Garden in Philadelphia. At around 2:30 p.m., he got into his black 1983 Plymouth Turismo and drove off. His normal route would have taken him to his home on Beaver Run Road in Nockamixon Township, Pennsylvania. But William Muller never arrived. He was never seen or heard from again. When friends, unable to reach him, went to check on William at his home, they found a scene that suggested a hasty departure, or perhaps an interrupted one. His guns, normally secured, were still in their cabinet. A pot of spaghetti sat on the stove. Nothing seemed to be missing from the house, except for William's car, which has also never been recovered. It was as if he'd been pulled away from his life mid-sentence. What makes William's disappearance particularly unsettling is the context surrounding it. Just 2 weeks before he vanished, William had taken his younger brother, Frederick William Muller, to court. Their mother had passed away, and William was suing Frederick for control over her estate. This included the very farmhouse and 17-acre property on Ferry Road where the brothers had grown up. But it wasn't just about inheritance. William believed Frederick was running a serious narcotics operation out of that family home, and he was determined to put a stop to it. After William's sudden disappearance, the lawsuit against Frederick was abruptly dropped. The shadow of William's disappearance lingered for years, a dark cloud over the Muller family. Then, in 2000, 13 years after William vanished, Frederick Muller was finally arrested on drug charges. The suspicions William had harbored proved chillingly true. Frederick had indeed been using the family farmhouse to manufacture methamphetamine. During the drug investigation, authorities made a startling revelation. Frederick was also considered a suspect in the 1998 murder of a Philadelphia police officer. His body was never recovered. Police further stated that Frederick was also a suspect in the probable murder of his own brother, William. While no one has ever been charged directly in the death of the police officer or William Muller, Frederick pleaded guilty to the drug offenses in 2001. At the time of his disappearance, William Muller was newly divorced, but he had 3 daughters and other relatives living in the area who cared deeply for him. 7 years after he vanished, William was legally declared dead, and his estate, valued at $235,000, was disbursed to his relatives. The case of William Muller remains officially unsolved. In the city of Philadelphia, the final days of the year 2000 brought with them a mystery that would defy easy answers, leaving a family shattered and a young child forever marked by a horrific, indelible memory. This is the story of Aisha Muhammad, a devoted young mother who vanished without a trace, and her son, a silent witness whose innocent words would eventually speak of murder. Aisha Muhammad, a spirited 20-year-old, was last seen on November 30th, 2000. Her last known location was her residence, a boarding house situated in the vicinity of the 1600 block of North 56th Street in Philadelphia. With her, on that fateful day, was her 2-year-old son, Amaru. Those who knew Aisha describe her as a competent, caring mother, someone wholly dedicated to her child. She was actively building a future for herself and Amaru, diligently employed at a local beauty salon while simultaneously pursuing her education at the Venus Beauty Academy. For anyone who knew Aisha, the very notion that she would willingly abandon her precious son was, quite simply, unthinkable. As days stretched into agonizing weeks following their disappearance, the silence surrounding Aisha and Amaru was deafening. There was no trace, no lead, just a terrifying void. Then, from the unexpected, a glimmer of hope pierced through the despair. Several weeks after they vanished, in a truly remarkable and bewildering turn of events, little Amaru was found. He was discovered abandoned, left on the doorstep of the Liberty Temple Church in Newark, New Jersey. The sight must have been heartbreaking, yet Amaru himself was a small miracle. He was neatly dressed and appeared to be in good health, a testament to someone's care, but he was utterly alone, unable to explain his circumstances. The 2-year-old, bewildered and disoriented by his ordeal, could only recall his first name. It took several painstaking days for authorities to positively identify him as the missing Amaru, Aisha Muhammad's son. The discovery brought immense, overwhelming relief to his family, but it simultaneously deepened the chilling mystery surrounding his mother's fate. Where is Aisha? Who had taken her son, and why was he left in a distant city? Once Amaru was safely reunited with his mother's relatives, the true, horrific nature of his experience began to unfold, albeit in the innocent, fragmented words of a 2-year-old. Amaru, as best he could, recounted a terrifying ordeal. He had witnessed his mother's murder. He told his stunned family that his mother had been involved in a violent altercation with another individual at their home. This person, he described, had brutally punched Aisha and then, in a devastating act, struck her with a rock. And she died, he simply told them. Most chillingly, Amaru, in his innocence, even named his mother's killer, though that individual has never been publicly identified or charged. Aisha's residence was a boarding house located on 56th Street near Hunter, a property managed by her father's half-brother, Charles Dawkins. Reports from the family indicated that Aisha and Dawkins reportedly had a troubled relationship, characterized by frequent arguments. When Aisha disappeared, it was Dawkins who informed her family that she had packed her belongings and left his home willingly. And indeed, upon inspection, her room at the boarding house was found to be completely cleaned out. The only items remaining were a solitary dresser and a bed with nothing but a bottom sheet. This unsettlingly pristine condition of the room stood in stark, chilling contrast to the child's horrific account of violence and death within those very walls. Despite the compelling, albeit heartbreaking, testimony of a child witness and the profoundly suspicious circumstances surrounding her disappearance and the discovery of her son, no suspect have ever been arrested in Aisha Muhammad's case. Foul play is, understandably, strongly suspected. The clean, empty room, the conflicting narrative from her father's half-brother, and most significantly, the direct, unvarnished account from a 2-year-old boy detailing his mother's violent end and naming her assailant. These are the perplexing pieces of a puzzle that has remained tragically incomplete for over 2 decades. Aisha Muhammad's case continues to be an unsolved cold case.
All right, this will be the last one, guys.
The quiet evening of May
Agreed, Alicia.
22nd, 1989, promised a routine into a workday for Dawn Mosino. She was last seen departing from Bryn Mawr Hospital in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, where she was employed as a hostess in the nutrition department. Her plan was simple and familiar. Utilize public transportation to return to her residence in the 100 block of Eaton Drive in Wayne, Pennsylvania, after a shift. But Dawn never arrived home. She has not been heard from again since. As investigators began to piece together the events of that evening, a crucial detail emerged from one of Dawn's friends. This friend told authorities that shortly before her disappearance, Dawn was accompanied by Thomas W. Hawkins Jr. The witness was able to positively identify Hawkins from a photograph. The name Thomas W. Hawkins Jr. immediately sent a chilling ripple through the investigation. He was a man with a dark past, having already served 6 years in prison for the murder of a teenage girl in 1980. What made his presence even more ominous was the fact that after Dawn vanished, Hawkins was charged with the 1989 rape and homicide of his own niece. He was subsequently convicted of his niece's murder in Pennsylvania and sentenced to death in 1990. Despite his known history of violence and his connection to Dawn on the day she disappeared, Thomas W. Hawkins Jr. has never been charged in connection with Dawn Mosino's case. Authorities, desperate for answers, even offered to commute Hawkins's death sentence to life imprisonment in exchange for information about Dawn's whereabouts or fate. Yet, he consistently denied any involvement in her disappearance. Dawn's mother provided investigators with further insights into the connection between her daughter and Hawkins. She revealed that Hawkins had worked with Dawn in the mid-1980s at the Powley Rehabilitation Center. After Dawn secured her position as a hostess at Bryn Mawr Hospital's nutrition department, her mother stated that Hawkins expressed a desire to work at the facility as well. He had, on several occasions, asked Dawn to assist him with an interview at the hospital. Her mother also recalled that Hawkins had given Dawn several rides from the bus stop near the rehabilitation center in the past, suggesting a pre-existing, if perhaps casual, relationship built on convenience. Dawn Mosino was described as an independent yet reliable young woman. She was known for keeping a regular schedule, never missing work, and always returning home to her family at night. Although she lived with her mother and sister, she maintained her own phone number and bank account, demonstrating her capacity for self-sufficiency. In 1989, the year she disappeared, Dawn was also actively involved with the Special Olympics, where she had won several medals, highlighting her dedication and achievements. Her disappearance remains unsolved. Authorities in Radnor Township, Pennsylvania, continue to handle the ongoing investigation into Dawn Mosino's fate, but answers have eluded them for decades. The specter of Thomas W. Hawkins Jr. looms large over the case, an uncharged figure whose known violent history and last known contact with Dawn paint a disturbing picture of what may have occurred on May 22nd, 1989.
All right, guys, that's going to be doing it for today with those. Like I said, I like to put some of those out because they don't get any airplay whatsoever anymore. And they're really cold, a lot of them, and it's not enough. They need to be seen. A lot of these cold cases need to be seen more regularly, so I try to add as many in here as I can. They're quick ones. You know, it doesn't take a long time. We just get some basic information on them, and off we go. So I like the way that they do that, and that's why I've been throwing them in here like this. All right, let me see what else I had here. I did have another story I was going to present. Where are we at now? 2.5. Okay. 1 minute here. Just a minute. Please and thank you. There are, Alicia. We can go on and on and on and on and on and on. So yeah, there's so many of them. It's insane. So yeah. No big deal. No big deal. We'll have plenty of them. Plenty of them. That's a fact. Let me see here, guys. What else do I have? I think at this point, I've covered what that and that. That other case is not put up yet. So give me a minute here. Come on now. You gonna give it to me or not? Give it to me, YouTube. Hang on, y'all. Just keep your hair on, please. Okay, hold on here. All right, grab your tissues, guys. We're going to look into some of the Good Samaritans around the world. It gives us hope in humanity that there are still some great people out there and positive things going down on a regular basis. Let's check it out.
Little girl knows exactly what to do when her mom has a cough. Here's some heartwarming footage of an Indian search and rescue crew being thanked as they head home from Turkey. What you're looking at is one of the proudest ducks ever to take part in a marathon.
Go, 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 go! I watched the duck run a race and cross the finish line.
No amount of work was too much for this little guy when it came to getting his doggy friend a drink. When this dog became scared of the fireworks, this little girl decided to use her brain and her hands to cover his ears. When your UPS driver turns out to be the next Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah, I'm like that.
This kid thought he was just having a nice day out in the city with his folks, but then he found out he was going to be seeing his favorite team.
Say, I'm going to the Rockers game tonight.
What?
What?
Actually?
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
This rabbi was spotted giving his own shoes to a homeless man on the subway. It doesn't get much more generous than that. This athlete sacrificed his own chances of winning a gold medal just to help his brother over the line. After finding a wallet in this person's driveway, this kid made the camera aware of the situation and left it in a safe place. This poor little 3-year-old was fighting leukemia and had wished for only one thing, his own wagon. This is the moment it arrived.
Whose wagon is this now? Yours!
These guys were trying to make this toddler feel like a proper basketball player, but he didn't need much help. Just like humans with mobility problems, some dogs just need a ramp. You're never in too much of a rush to help a blind person across the street. This dog has one job, and this player suddenly realized he was about to steal it. When Spider-Man heard that his biggest fan was in the hospital, he canceled all his crime-fighting plans to spend the day with him. When this guy saved a pigeon from a plastic bag, he thought his work was done. But then, this pigeon came along. That moment when you meet your best friend's daughter, realize she's been named after you.
What? No, you did not. No, you did not. Your name is Miracle.
What you're about to see, believe it or not, is a very generous crow trying to feed a very hungry rodent. There's nothing more heartwarming than genuine sportsmanship. After a toddler kicked this musician off his piano, he decided to use his talents to help him perform his first duet.
Sorry, everyone.
Humans sit in chairs. Every good dog knows that. This little girl's dance partner didn't show up, so her dad stepped in to help. Who needs to worry about stairs when you've got friends? When this cancer patient was overwhelmed at having her hair shaved off, her kind-hearted hairdresser decided to show some solidarity. Do you feel inspired after watching this video? Well, why not show Akimbo a random act of
Oh, sorry guys, hold on.
than any guardian angel.
Oh, I love people. I love people. Oh.
When this kid lost his ice cream on the big screen, couldn't have known that a friendly ice cream savior was watching him. When you're homeless, your hair is usually the least of your worries. But a haircut from this guy can do a lot for your dignity.
That's not the dude under the bridge, is it?
When this snowboarder got themselves in trouble, they weren't expecting Olympic gold medalist Chloe Kim to show up and lend them a hand.
All right, this is easy.
If you're too small to do something, then being fooled into thinking you can do it is almost as good. This little girl is just determined to spread love and joy everywhere she goes. When the boy in this car saw a child his own age on the streets, he decided to give him some of the toys he had in the back seat. If only more adults were like this. This driver spotted a very confused blind man on a busy street and wasted no time in stopping his car to help him out. When this guy caught a baseball, all it took was one look at the kid's face behind him before he knew what he had to do.
The judge was on it.
Looked like a Blue Jay dad giving that Yankee kid the home run ball. So good job by everybody out there.
Who'd have thought you could enjoy amusement park rides at home? Well, this dad, that's who. This guy's smile says it all. How to make your spot at the beach perfect for your family to be. These guys are using their skills to do something seriously kind. Build prosthetics for disabled animals.
They put it on, and this dog, who had never really walked before, took off sprinting across the room.
When one person walks past and speeds up, another slows down and helps. That's human beings for you. This dog could have made a great sheepdog if he wasn't too busy helping children cross a busy street. When the weather's so bad that the cop side of the fence and has 4 legs.
Nice throw!
This police officer was surprised by a man, and that man turned out to be the boy he'd saved from drowning 19 years ago.
Because of you, I'm still here. Because of you, this 5-year-old little girl right here still is here. You know what? I'm just doing my job, man. Yeah, awesome.
When this little girl showed off her brand new blade for the first time, her school friends couldn't have been more happy and excited for her. This elderly lady and this sanitation worker have a touching relationship. After she fell bringing her trash can up the driveway, he stayed with her until the ambulance arrived, and now makes sure it never happens again.
Looking good, like that hair. You got it down. I gotta work on mine.
This just appears to be one man teaching another man to ride a bicycle, until you realize that it's extra sweet, as it's a father teaching his daughter's boyfriend. When the Japanese national anthem started to play, this Canadian athlete decided to make his competitor's moment complete by holding up the flag for him. An all too rare moment in soccer, when 2 players accidentally collide and show concern for each other. When little George went to his first game, he didn't realize he was going to become a star. This poor little pooch suffers from a bad back, so her human built her a ramp so she could still get up onto the bed. When this little guy got lost, this kind man, kind band, and kind onlookers all decided to create an ingenious way to get the attention of his dad. When this FedEx delivery man saw an 81-year-old woman shoveling her driveway, he immediately offered to help, but she still wouldn't let him do it alone. That moment when you warm the heart of a cold dog. You're about to see a man stopping a small child from becoming roadkill. Even otters need some tenderness from time to time. When this delivery person scattered hundreds of apples onto the ground, did people just stare and laugh? No, they sprang into action, and each did their part. This father woke up to find food and drink waiting for him and his hungry son. He could only assume that someone, somewhere was looking out for him.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for those. Wipe your tears off. Get rid of your ughs and ahs and oohs and yell at me a little bit more, and on we go. On we go. Again, like I always say, there's so much more positivity going on than we think there is, and that gives us so much more hope for humanity, guys. We see it every day. So much negativity, so much badness, and just horrible things. And there's just a little bit of joy and positivity to remind us all of how much more there is out there. It's real. It is. So on we go, on we go, on we go. Let's see what we got here. Hold on a minute here. Hold on. First, I got to show this because this is just too funny to me. This new AI stuff has brought some really crazy crap out here for us to see. And this just killed me. So this is just a quick one we're going to show. But then I got some other stuff. Thank you, SRB, so much for that, dear. I appreciate that. And guys, we don't ever expect any kind of tips or donations or anything like that for anybody to be here. We just appreciate you being here, and that supports the channel in the best way possible. But if anybody should choose to support us, whether it's Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, super chats, super stickers, memberships, any of that, guys, it is beyond appreciated. You have no idea how much we appreciate it. So thank you, and thank you, SRB, again. Check this out, folks. This is cute.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. In Springfield.
I thought that was just too funny. I'm sorry. It cracks me up when they do that. Hey, Miss Tracy. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you very much. Let's see here. They are. They really, truly are. Hang on. All right, I got a couple of different things. I wasn't sure what to throw out here first, but we'll try this one first and see what happens.
Good evening. Tonight I'm going to sound like a drunk.
Gay fucking shit.
Good evening, I'm Van Tu. You may have seen our newest reporter, AJ, on NBC North Dakota News, and he'll be joining the weekend news team as my co-anchor. Tell us a little bit about yourself, AJ.
Thanks, Van. I'm very excited. I graduated from West Virginia University, and I'm used to, from being from the East Coast.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Wanted to congratulate Cliff Lee for his 1600th strikeout. A little bit of a tongue tie.
The Brewers came up with a hand.
That's great.
Continue, koleżanko. O Jezu.
He's out there with a kid like Cameron Robinson and what?
At the location where he dropped his, please don't do that.
Auditors last year found the state. Hello, nice to see you.
250,000 people attending are safe.
It's affected so many people, from those Oakland parents up to the strangers who felt compelled tonight in Walnut Creek to come together for the vigil.
Car break-ins are down 28% this year.
Business still not completed here. Chris Houghton, the manager, still here on site.
Starting at Houghton Avenue and going all the way to State Avenue. Drivers are down to a single lane in each direction.
Photojournalist Brad Rice shows us how a forestry instructor gets his students to make and play the North American the flute in this Traveling West Virginia segment.
Live in Old Town, Ken Body, Coin 6 News.
And we'll keep you up to date. Ken, thank you.
Chris Belisario, the stilt walker. I was originally going to come in between her legs, but yeah, that's not what was not going to happen. Would not have made for good TV had she fallen over. So we're not trying to create a liability.
When my son was teething, he used to like to take the big fat rubber end of my vibrating toothbrush and put it in his mouth and he'd just kind of sit there like, oh yeah, that feels good. That hits the spot. My gums are itchy.
I am being joined right now by Mickey the baboon, and we're going to be, he's trying to cop a feel a little bit, but we're going to be talking a little bit about the Lodi Grape Festival that is happening this weekend starting today.
The Martin Luther King Monument.
It's been a key inaugural spot
of the Mahasabadama Maharaj.
This is a
Don't have IFB. I don't know when we're going. Neither does Jim. I can't get this fucking in there.
We apologize for that.
What this warning means for our area this weekend, Natalie?
This is gonna be the death of me. There's a lot of stuff. I'm on? Now?
Same-sex marriage is legal in New Mexico. The High Court says it will wait until the issue makes its way through the lower courts.
Linda Carson, ABC7. Would you not eat my pants? Ah!
At the Community Shield game,
أوامر ما قبل افتتاح.
Okay, ow. Go ahead. I'm not going to get in trouble. It worked in practice.
But any nor'easter grinds up the sand. And sorry, Bill.
and rebuilt from the ground up.
Don't think that teacher should be allowed back at school. In Lake Station, Indiana, Roseanne Tejas.
I think as of right now, listening to all of the fans and fans behind me, they don't really care about that at this point.
This is the season that matters, and despite the fact that they've had such a tremendous amount of success during the regular season.
Your conduct. It says that I wanted to eat her pussy. Conduct. I've never said that in my life tour. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home. Thank you very much.
Anything that was true.
He said, "Kapooya, kapooya," and your boy that hell just came in. I looked at opened my door, and I looked out my door and started hitting me in my head. I took off running, ran to my restroom, and then I called my mama to see was she all right.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms. Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Dead giveaway.
Thank you very much for your time. And
either she homeless or she got problems. That's the only reason why she run to a black man.
Charles, thank you for being there, man.
They could get a new pope sooner than expected.
There's 6 shots of espresso in there.
The study's being published today in the Annals of Neurology.
There's still plenty of time to take part in our last Stuff a Bus event of the season.
Let's get to Fox 5's Linda Schmidt, who's live at Gracie Mansion tonight, where the family will be sitting Shiva tomorrow. Linda.
Illegal butt injections.
And Hugh Janus, turning 10. We'd mentioned...
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. It's one of those. It's one of those.
I totally fell for it, didn't I?
Especially when you're talking to young classical pianists.
Right there in the middle of your screen, and you can see that one dog is chained up right now.
Some 2,200 passengers are being blown on charter flights from the Bahamas to Maryland with a promise of a full refund and a future cruise.
For $64, a professional instructor will take you for a 3-hour heart-pounding lap ride. $190.
A 3-lap ride.
3-lap ride, thank you.
Not a lap ride.
Guys, I just met her. Yeah, fantastic. She has some nice titties.
Those stories, and Steve McKay has more on a soggy forecast.
Winter weather warning right now. Here's a live look at the Fox 6 snow stick. This is out on the weather dick.
Whoa, I am a Smurf. Oh my goodness.
Not showing any rain in southwest Florida. It is showing Jeff Butera, though.
31 days until spring.
Wednesday, 59 degrees. Wednesday. There we go. That looks good. That looks good.
Here's the big picture. We've all had the hiccups before, right? Cypress to Copperfield as well. 5:36. Scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms during the overnight.
Or on Sunday. The rest of us will clear out. Only 54, though. Bone chilling.
It's a beautiful shot this afternoon. You can, wow! Yeah, y'all! Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of cold today. Temps in the 30s. By tonight, we should see some clearing skies. All right, you have a good one.
The jury.
いらっしゃいます山本博さんとともにブエノスアイレスにいらっしゃいます。
他刚好跟苏贞昌见面，我问他说，我说那你有没有问苏贞昌他为什么不做副手
？100% what she just said. Period.
的这位
Lola Rodríguez de Dios lo válgame Dios.
And what he said too.
Es que estoy trancado. R con R y ra ro ri ra.
Eat brains, we like the blood. We can eat them because they feed us, the only thing that keep us to be undead.
Congress, they still managed to get better approval than ratings than telemarketers, playground bullies, meth.
I don't know how to do meth labs.
Meth labs, STDs.
I don't know how to do STDs either.
Kim Kardashian. I was just waiting for that. And Lindsay Lohan.
Okay. She's always drunk. That's Lindsay Lohan. It's Lilo.
Oh my goodness.
Monique er ejeren af bilen her bag mig. Næste gang overvejer I...
Can you tell us a little more of what you saw?
I sure can. I was sitting on my front porch, grabbed a beer, and fuck her right in the pussy.
Back.
Well,
Do you live around here?
Yeah. Wow, you're super pretty. You want to go on a date sometime?
We're on the air live right now on KCLA, actually.
Here you see the clouds pushing on shore.
TV has just learned the names of the 4 pilots who were on board the flight. They are Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Ho Lee Fook, and Bang Ding Ao.
Make his first appearance. But in this case, LaBeouf did not have that, and LaBeouf obviously... LaBeouf obviously...
Now, following her victory speech, Kim asked her and her supporters to say a prayer for Gina Roberson, who remains hospitalized for a stress-related illness. Kim says her and Gina will remain friends and work together in this Harrisburg community. Working for you tonight in Harrisburg, Dave Marcheski, ABC 27 News.
What a night. If you love drama, then you're a very happy person tonight. Never a dull moment with these Kings. At times, it looked like it wasn't going to happen. Then an incredible moment occurred late in the...
A couple falling off of this boat in Key Largo, staying afloat for more than 14 hours, ending up in Hallandale Beach before being saved before things could get any worse.
Pants, honey. I'm worried about your pants. I'll tell you what. Did you hear that?
T store here in Houston were robbed at gunpoint because people knew that they were there with their cell phones, and there were a few people there. So I want people to be aware that if you decide that you're going to come out and wait in line, you got to take that into.
Aaron Hernandez did a lot of traveling there. He went to Miami. He went to California. They are curious to see if any tattoos, new ones, appeared on him at that time, in that time frame.
Sheriff's Department, no major disturbances. Everything has gone pretty smoothly. They say they've only had a couple arrests related to people who were drinking a little bit too much. Live in West Hollywood.
Fucking hot.
Whoa! I'm sorry. Christina Scotia, KTLA 5 News. Back to you guys.
I want to bring in some of the fans. How nervous were you guys watching this game?
I was really nervous. Fuck her right in the pussy.
Okay, we just disregard that. Altogether, you can tell things are getting a little bit wild here.
O povo na ponta da língua, onde é que a gente vai? Olha lá, os turistas croatas, tudo bem. Todo mundo muito simpático.
And you can get tickets online at Oh, no. Well, you're thinking about sausage, so. Pick a Dick. It is King of the Cabasa, so go to pickadick.com.
Building. I know the vacuum cleaner man. He's seen my tits. I know that's not going on TV, but it's true. It's true. I'm not here to lie to you. I was trying to get a hold of him.
Anything else you want to add about what you saw?
You want to see my tits?
I will not be making any comment. Oh my God, that hurt.
Elaine Campbell, who became a symbol for organ donation, is celebrating her 21st birthday in hospital.
I'm Nicole DiDonato, live in Easttown, and those details coming up. Yeah.
Drive into the city, you see that there are lines at the gas stations, the grocery stores.
If you drive into the city, you see that there are lines at the gas stations.
It is really hard to stand up right now. Oh, not to mention the rain is just killing me. For whatever it's worth, I hope I'm making Tebow proud.
There is no sand. It's hitting up against the seawall, and also we're worried about that.
There's a shirtless man jogging wearing a horse mask. I'm not quite sure.
It's Richard.
Obviously wanting to get a little bit of attention. We are obliging him.
Yes,
but I also have to tell you, it's cold out here. I'm wearing all of this stuff, and I'm soaked through, and I'm cold. This guy, shirtless, I don't even know.
They want everybody who doesn't have a reason to be outside inside their homes. You heard from the mayor who said a number of people haven't left. That worries them, but at this point, if you haven't left, don't go out. You probably can't get out of Atlantic City anyway because the roads have become overwashed.
This is only the beginning, and so all of the warnings do need to be taken seriously. Of course, power outages could be a problem. That's never a good idea, folks. Following the 2010 census, Myrtle Beach's MPO is moving.
You should try that.
I would love to.
He just peed.
See this.
That he did. He just peed.
Nobody's sure good.
Graphics chips. Also some good signs.
Both shows are not having technical difficulties, so I'm watching Spain.
Tony Abbott still needs to be elected first.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, "Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire." Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Come on, Ben, get your shit together. That's all you got? Get your stuff together, that's what I meant to say.
I guess the game just ended. It ended in a tie. This is what my producer is telling me right now. Oh, there you go. There's the score. 89. Went down to the wire. 21 seconds left. Ended in a tie.
A little bit of what you see here. That's Wyclef Jean giving an interview. He is one of the many surrogates, you could say. Sorry? Wale, excuse me, Wale. Got my artist mixed up. Either way, we've seen a lot of artists. You've seen a lot of surrogates out on the campaign trail coming out for the president. And now you've seen sort of the surrogates come on out, and we can expect this. We saw a bunch of musicians out on the campaign trail. Bruce Springsteen for the president yesterday, Jay-Z for the president yesterday. And we've seen celebrities, will.i.am. Good grief, man, I am tired. It's will.i.am. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up my artists here.
Flight costs go up too, so we could see fewer people driving.
Spun out right behind you. Did you see that, Adrian?
I know I didn't, but now I did, so we're gonna
wow,
go
okay.
on it. Yeah, it looks like we have gotten in an accident out here.
I'm probably shocked by the gas prices.
Trying to beat the world record for fist pumping. This isn't their live streaming. You know,
Okay. Yeah, we didn't need to see that. Thanks, Ray.
We go down to 76 for Friday. Come on, you remember that TV show?
I love the 70s.
And that's going to oh, son of a bitch. Why is this happening?
By and large, though, it is simply a lovely winter's day tomorrow. Bucket loads of sunshine across central and eastern areas.
42-31 and 14 second chance points.
Yeah, that's really big for Washington off those 11 offensive rebounds. Good hustle.
The Dallas Mavericks championship trophy was also on display this morning for fans to get an up-close look at just the trophy, of course.
Still fun to watch. Just stopped because of your reporting. Thank you so much for ruining the fun. Total, complete killjoy.
All right,
Something that's gone on for a decade and you've ruined it.
Okay.
Well, Janie Kristen, with triple digits expected tomorrow, we may see scenes even more like this. People trying to beat the heat and trying to stay cool.
Thank you, Contessa. God bless. I appreciate you being here.
And people...
Yeah, thanks, Ray.
David, welcome news indeed. You know, a lot of these commuters having to deal with losing their home or their car. And then, excuse us for a second.
Michael, some of these businesses here along Ocean Boulevard, which you can see behind me, tell me they are some of the hardest hit spots.
I'm the Now, if you can only imagine, this interruption happened at the peak of the evening commute. So commuters who thought they were on their way home found themselves going nowhere at all.
Many of us will try to cool ourselves at swimming pools, maybe the river, lake, or a beach somewhere.
Need airspace, that type of stuff.
There are gay CEOs of major companies, and I reached out to many of them, and I have to say I got an extremely cool reception. Not one would allow to be named in the column.
I think Tim Cook is fairly open about the fact that he's gay at the head of Apple, isn't he? Oh dear, was that an error?
Wow.
I don't know. I thought not.
You just, yeah.
Check out this view, and I'm sorry, I'm suffering from hiccups all of a sudden. This should be interesting, right? See, there it goes again. Before we start to see that mix out, we'll see a couple of showers. We're starting to see some improvements, and then that should quickly mix out. For the highlands, excuse me, I'll see the clouds in place.
Fall on the grill and no, don't do that. Don't do it. We don't want to tell her a story.
Well, you can see the level of expectancy. You can see the level of expectancy.
Good afternoon from the 7 Newsroom. I'm Jacqueline Felgate.
We have not gotten into the worst part of this storm yet. That is to come a little bit later on tonight. So obviously here at the College of Charleston, they're already having a good time.
I compare winter to be the Justin Bieber of seasons. It was kind of cute and exciting when it first started out, and now it's a bit obnoxious and should probably just stay in Canada.
Not really more accumulating snow, but just a biting, granular, kind of slushy, icy snow.
We're running a very low impact when it's dry snow, so your feet don't get wet.
Go ahead and keep on the run. I'm sorry to have kept you, but I appreciate you guys talking with us. All right, thanks. We've seen a lot of people out here, like you said, running, sledding, just enjoying it. One thing, oops, that can happen.
The barn was only used for 2 weeks of the year for breeding, so it wasn't insured.
And if you're making last-minute dinner plans, you may have a hard time getting in some of the titties in some of the city's top spots. We checked around at some local restaurants.
The unarmed boy got out of his car and said, "This, S-H-I-T, is going down now."
If you just say things naturally, it's fine.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they just think and fuck.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay. We bleeped it. Yes, we bleeped it. Good. All right.
The 3 victims were part of a CXS crew.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Working for Marvel, the Super Bowl commercial. Did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
Oh. You know what? I've admit my mistake. You know what?
See, you're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
That's my fault. I know that. That was my fault. My mistake. You know what?
We don't all look alike.
Flogger, you're exactly
we may be all black and famous.
You
but
are
we all don't look
guilty.
alike.
I am guilty.
Next question.
I am guilty.
He thought you were Bob Dylan.
Right.
That's right. You're the entertainment reporter.
I know.
You're the entertainment reporter for this station.
Flog.
And you don't know the difference between me and Lawrence Fishburne?
My mistake. I apologize.
Really?
I apologize.
I'm the other guy. The other one. What's in your wallet?
Right.
onde causou um curto-circuito esse equipamento causou um curto-circuito em um transformador e o próprio sistema desligou esses circuitos para que a falha não se estendesse ainda mais.
Ainda há risco de ter mais algum apagão aqui em Pouso Alegre, na nossa região?
Não, o nosso produto ele é exposto, então ele está sujeito a...
The panel said it welcomed the apology, but said some of the financial costs could have been avoided.
Toward fighting for freedom and fairness, which begins with legalizing marijuana here in Alaska. And as for this job, well, not that I have a choice, but fuck it, I quit.
It's just a normal iPhone 6. I didn't want to be one.
All right, we're doing the reveal. His name's Jack.
Best start to a Premier League season.
Let's remember that, of course, he played under Roberto Martinez at Wigan, and at the
You come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. Come on. That was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit.
You know, we're doing live TV.
Hey, I don't care. What are you gonna do about it?
Is it nerve-wracking for you to do?
Cheese? No. Hi. Hang on a second, guys. Are we talking about doing the story?
Ever since 2003, and this the 5 times this motherfucker been got.
You know, on the lighter side, though, Dave, I really appreciate. Dave gave me a mug like this.
I just have to say to you, we just heard during the break that this is your first day of work. Welcome. What a story you have. Okay. I guess Chris says I'm out here so long.
All right, y'all. I hope that brought a couple laughs to your face, or a couple smiles to your face, and a couple laughs to your belly. I appreciate you guys joining me today. I will be back here just probably within an hour or so for the second show today. I appreciate the Blue Crew for everything they do and have done. We all know I couldn't do without them, and I appreciate them so very much. Everybody else in here, guys, you're absolutely amazing. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. Don't change a thing. You're the beautiful people, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye, y'all.
Life's a journey, let's make every moment shine. Together we share, our hearts so intertwined. Each time you tune in, we're dancing in sync. With every story told, just let your soul think. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. So hit that subscribe, keep the vibe alive. We're riding this wave and it's set to thrive. With smiles all around, let's seize the day. In this podcast family, worries drift away. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. So gather round friends, it's time to reflect. In this joyful moment, what's next to connect? Let's cherish the laughter, the joy that we spread. Together we'll thrive until our hearts are fed. See you next time with stories anew. Can't wait to share more with all of you.